He got away. He got away. She put a spell on you. He got away. Zion, Lucas, Liam, Noah, Oliver. He got away. Jacob, Sebastian, Cole, what's it called to Moses? Silly you, what did you think? He stayed for life 'cause you're good at lip syncing and power walking. Hey pretty please, it's true you're good at birds and bees. Yes, miss one, but there's never no base. So stupid girl, stop talking about kids. I'll go from number one to nothing at all in just a blink. He's out of the ring. Oh, I wish I was my best friend instead. In her head they're dead. He got away. He got away. She put a spell on you. He got away. Zion, he got away. Oh, what's it called to Spinach lettuce, all you love. Green juice cleanses you remind me of every man I treated like God. Tantrum, here I come. He got away.
Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key. Hated on by most these niggas with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels and no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me cause I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Got a crib with a studio and it's all full of tracks to add to the wall full of plaques, hanging up in the office and back of my house like trophies. Did y'all think I'ma let my dough freeze? Ho please, you better bow down on both knees. Who you think taught you to smoke trees? Who you think brought you to ODs, Easy E's, Ice Cubes and DOCs, the Snoop Dogg G's? Group that said motherfuck the police. Gave you a tape full of dope beats to bump when you stroll through in your hood. And when your album sales wasn't doing too good, who's the doc that they told you to go see? Y'all better listen up closely. All you niggas that said that I turn pop or the firm flop, y'all are the reason that Dre ain't been getting no sleep. So fuck y'all, all of y'all. If y'all don't like me, blow me. Y'all are gonna keep fucking around with me and turn me back to the old me.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. So what do you say to somebody you hate? What? Or anyone trying to bring trouble your way? One of his off things in the blood of your way? Just study your tape of NWA. One day I was walking by with a Walkman on when I caught a guy, give me an awkward eye. Strangled him off in the parking lot with his cork and eye. I don't give a fuck if it's dark or not. I'm harder than me trying to park a Dodge when I'm drunk as fuck. Right next to a humongous truck in a 2-car garage. Hopping out with 2 broken legs trying to walk it off. Fuck you too, bitch, call the cops. I'ma kill you and them loud ass motherfucking barking dogs. And when the cops came through, me and Dre stood next to a burned down house with a can full of gas and a handful of matches, and still weren't found out. Right here, so from here on out, it's the chronic too. Starting today and tomorrow's anew. And I'm still local enough to choke you to death with a Charleston chew. Chicka 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 Slim Shady, hotter than a set of twin babies. And a Mercedes Benz with the windows up when the tip goes up to the mid-80s. Calling men ladies. Sorry doc, but I've been crazy. There's no way that you can save me. It's okay, go with him, Haley. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot forgot about Dre.
If it was up to me, you motherfuckers stop coming up to me with your hands out, looking up to me like you want something free. When my last CD was out, you wasn't bumping me. But now that I got this little company, everybody wanna come to me like it was some disease. But you won't get a crumb from me, cause I'm from the streets of I told them all them little gangsters, who you think helped mold them all? Now you wanna run around talking about guns like I ain't got none. What you think I sold them all? Cause I stay well off. Now all I get is hate mail all day saying Dre fell off. What? Cause I've been in the lab with a pen in the pad trying to get this damn label off. I ain't having that. This is the millennium of aftermath. It ain't gonna be nothing after that. So give me one more platinum plaque and fuck rap, you can have it back. So where's all the mad rappers at? It's like a jungle in this habitat. But all you savage cats know that I was strapped with gats when you were cuddling a cabbage patch.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
So much drama in LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop Dogg, but I somehow, someway, keep coming up with funky ass shit nearly every single day. And can I kick a little something for the G's and make a few friends as I breeze through? Don't you know it's 2 in the morning and our party's still jumping? Cause my mama ain't home. I got the bitches in the living room getting it on, and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. So what you wanna do, ho? I got a pocket full of rubbers and my homeboys do too. So turn off the lights and close the doors. But what? We don't love them whores, and we gonna smoking out to that. Jesus holds down like you motherfuckers bounce to that. And I've been rolling down the street, smoking endo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Rolling down the street, smoking endo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind, y'all. I got me some Seagram's gin. Everybody got that cup, but they ain't chipped in. You know, this type of shit happens all the time. You gotta get yours before I get mine. Everything is fine. We listening to the D.O.G. He's got that cultivating music that be captivating me. But who hears the words that I speak as I take me a drink to the middle of the street? I started mapping with this bitch named Sadie. You know she used to be the homeboy's lady. Don't you know it's 80 degrees when I tell that bitch please raise up all these.
Johnny, angry Johnny, this is Jezebel in hell. I wanna kill you, I wanna blow you away. I can do it to you gently, I can do it with an animal's
precision. I can do it with gourmet taste. But either way, either way, I wanna kill you. I wanna.
Fury took over from there. At nearly 90 miles per hour, she zipped us up to that windy edge known as Sums Mulholland, sinuous road running the ridge of the Santa Monica Mountains, where she then proceeded to pump her vehicle in and out of turn, sometimes dropping down to 50 miles per hour, only to immediately cut it back up to 90 again. Fast, slow, fast, fast, slow. Sometimes a wide turn, sometimes a quick one. She preferred the tighter ones, the sharp, controlling jerk, leaning left to right before driving back to the right, only so she could do it all over again. Until after enough speed and enough wind and more distance than I'd been prepared to expect, taking me to parts of this city I rarely think of and never visit, I heard her say,
Don't you wanna kill me?
I can't remember the inane things I started babbling about then. I know it didn't really matter. She wasn't listening. She just yanked up on the emergency brake, dropped her seat back, and told me to lie on top of her. On top of those leather pants of hers, her hands immediately guiding mine over those soft, slightly oily folds, positioning my fingers on the shiny metal tabs and all round like a tear, then murmuring a murmur so inaudible that even though I could feel her lips tremble against my ear, she seemed far, far away. Pinch it, she'd said, which I did, lightly, until she also said pull it, which I also did, gently parting the teeth, one at a time, down under and beneath, the longest unzipping of my life. We never even kissed or looked into each other's eyes. Our lips just trespassed on those inner labyrinths hidden deep within our ears, filled them with the private music of wicked words, hers in many languages, mine in the off color of my only tongue. Too bad dark languages rarely survive.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived. I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Part of the way that I stare, there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Like sharpened knives to chicken McNuggets. Now heads of state who ride and wrangle, who look at your face from more than one angle, can cut you from their bloated bunches like sharpened knives to chicken McNuggets. Shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up. Right, right. Learn to buck up. Right, shut the fuck up. Hey, oh. Now, learn to buck up. Now, nimble fingers, the dance on numbers, will eat your children and steal your thunder, while heavy torsos that heave and hurl will crunch like nuts in the mouths of squirrels. Now, nimble fingers, the dance on numbers, will eat your children and steal your thunder, while heavy torsos that heave and hurl will crunch like nuts in the mouths of squirrels. Shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up. Right now, learn to buck. Shut the fuck up. Hey, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Learn to buck up. Right. Now simple feet that flicker like fire and burn like candles in smoky spires do more to turn my joy to sadness than somber thoughts of burning planets. Now clever feet that flicker like fire and burn like candles in smoky spires do more to turn my joy to sadness than somber thoughts of burning planets. Shut the fuck! Alright. Okay. I don't wanna hear it. That's right. Shut the fuck!
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great show. It's gonna be I don't know, man. It's been a long ass day, a long ass week, to be honest with you. And so I'm having some fun. Sarah apparently had a problem with my music, which is licensed, and I'm legally able to use it on YouTube's without getting dinged. But she doesn't like that music, which I do pick, just kind of like music most people are going to like. However, she demanded better music, and I said, what the fuck? Let's do it. I am late. My son's shooting the state championship, and we didn't finish really until about like 6 something, and I drove straight home. I had to get changed a little bit and get in front of the camera here. And in the meantime, while I was doing all of this stuff, played you guys some tunes. I'm gonna have to delete like the entire intro of this, but that's fine. Who cares? Let's take a look and see who is all up in the chat. I think maybe Sarah abandoned us halfway through that music that she asked for. Sarah was the first person in the chat tonight, the first one to say hello anyway. Abe Dinkus was next. Good to see you, Abe. Good to see you. Glad you made it. I'm happy you're here. Ducks Y wandered in third. I'm not sure why Ducks Y is called Ducks Y, but why not? Why not, Duck? Why not? Helowiki jumped up in here a little bit after that, and then we had some other folks come on in. We find some of them. Chairman of the board, Anson Knowles, made it in. Logical Spark is up in the house tonight. Good to see you, sir. Who else? Man, 13. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. I'm glad you're back around. I know you were having some tech issues. Glad to be there. Logical Spark. I don't think Kat, if you mean Kat TV, she's not scheduled to be on tonight, but she might wander by. You never know. She just never knows. I see Kat as a Catherine. No, I see her as something else because she is Persian and Cubano, and that's Catherine's not a name in those two. Let's see. We've got Smoking Spaceman. Ahmad finally made it in to control this out of control crowd. And that's awesome. You Tell Me is up in the house. Good to see you, sir. Grumple Stillskin said, oh, hello to you as well. The Shade Master said that he is here. Good to see you, sir. Excellent. We always need shade. Throw some shade around. Why not? All right. Who else? We've got some other people I hadn't actually seen in here before. We've got... Wow, you guys were talking for a while. That's good stuff, man. ZD Den made it in. That's awesome. Good to see you. Glad you were singing along with the music. I do have good music, backed up in the computer, but unfortunately, again, I don't have license to it. So if I play it, I have to delete it off the production. Chuck in Tennessee made it in. That's awesome. Good to see you. Tim Hale, Criminally Funny, Jay Sixer. Welcome back to the show, sir. I know you're unlikely to come up, but I'm glad that you're here and hanging out. Absolutely having a great time. I was just putting the show together. I wasn't doing anything that cool. You tell me. Panchuchin made it in, stumbled in. It looks like stumbled right on in. That's okay. And let's see here, man. We got a lot of really cool people up in the house tonight. It's awesome. We'll get some more. We'll send out the We'll send out the bat signal. M5 came in to the chat. That's awesome. Evan O'Brien, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. That's awesome. Man, I'm glad you made it to the show. Silvar Ogre's up in the house. Chuck in Tennessee threw out a big $5 super chat. That is great. Let me scroll back and throw that up. $5 came in and said, "Let me be the first dono, but hopefully not the last." Let's kick in some funds tonight, guys. It's going to be a good show. If you can, if you can't, don't send me your last dollar. Don't put yourself in any kind of financial bind. But if you can spare a few bucks, it does help out the show, and it keeps me able to do the show and not run off and do other things. Peace Dynamo, good to see you, sir. Excellent. We have so many cool people up in the house tonight. Very cool. So this is a chill stream. This is a Wednesday night chill stream. And I don't know what happened to Flo's channel. He was on and then he wasn't, and then he was on. I'm starting to wonder if he got a real job, and that would be a true tragedy. I have sent the links to Sarah just, for the heck of it, because I can. And also, guys, we're going to have as our guest tonight, even though it is a chill stream, I normally do a guest on Wednesday nights. We're going to have Trippy Cast pop on, and we're going to talk to Trippy Cast about a lot of cool stuff and see what is up. Hey, Aborted Hornet, what is up, sir? What is up? Flow State has been downgraded to Flow County. That's actually good. I don't, Tim Hale is actually a comedian. So I do have Venmo, Cash App, and Streamlabs. I have all of that. Give Silvar Ogre actually he's not a mod. Give Smoking Spaceman a minute. He'll post that link. He's got that information for you, sir. We'll take your money, sir. Absolutely, and happy to do so. Always appreciate the support. We may or may not have people from my son's school watching currently right now. Maybe, I don't know. I did. We were talking today, and I said I had to go do the show, and they asked me about it, and I said, okay, here's the show, and you're welcome to watch it. I did advise them. I use a lot of adult language here. And so I warned them about that. Silvar Ogre, I thought that you had mentioned one time that you did not want the wrench because you were already modding for Fabian Liberty and did not want to. Obviously, he's on the same time I am, and it's just I wanted to. You didn't turn it down. You just said, hey, you prefer not to. But you are now, sir, a mod. And Anson Knowles says he don't know what happened. That's awesome. Good deal. What's up, Imperius? How are you doing? Have you calmed down a little bit? You doing all right? Yeah, it's just like conflict, but I think you're grown up enough to handle it, Silvar. So you've got your wrench, and glad to have you on staff. So that's good. So TrippyCast is going to wander along at some point. I sent Sarah the link as well in case she got bored in traffic and wanted to pop on via her phone. But I don't know. She might be out headed to a date or something. What's up, Glenn Lawrence Presents? We'll send you out tonight. Whoa, Sarah sent. The TTS just will not do it for 9. I've got it set to, but it just won't do it. Raging Tomato says, can't join tonight in New Jersey for Brado Tomatoes sports event. I understand that one. And we have an early morning tomorrow. The music got way better, though. DJ fun. Yeah, I just have to cut off the front section of it, and that'll be fine. Which is totally cool. Don't mind doing it. Thank you, Sarah. You are, of course, welcome to join anytime. You do have the link. So if you just get bored and want to jump on for 10 or 15 minutes, feel froggy and jump. All right. Okay, Kay Shaw. Haven't seen you in here before. Welcome. Happy to see you out there. So, new subscriber. We have Fletch 83. It looks like. Can't read this. Yep. So that's cool. Awesome, man. Awesome. Very good. P Fletch 83 has subscribed. That's awesome. Used to watch a movie called Fletch. It was awesome. Let me say, I'm gonna get Glenn Lawrence up here, but really, the show, I told Trippy Cast that he would that I would throw him up here. He had never been on the show, and he's a funny guy, so we're gonna try and get him on there. Let me find Glenn Lawrence. Glenn Lawrence and I have to talk a little bit about this weekend anyway. So let me see if I can get him. I'll just send him a link. And there we go. Yes, sir. You hate coming to Jersey? Yeah, I understand. I don't go there much anymore myself now that we've rented out the suite apartment up there. So that worked out pretty good. Yeah, so we got K Shaw, we got P Fletch 83 up in the joint. That's awesome. Good to see everybody. As I said earlier, I've been out all day. I've been out. Pretty much this whole week has been devoted to my son's skeet and sporting clays. Basically, a shotgun clays tournament. It's a state tournament, and it's been really good. Honestly, my son's learned a lot over the past year. He's doing well, and he needs some coaching, and his gun fit's a little weird, but we're going to address all of that. And next year, I think he's going to be going for those first place trophies, which is what I want. Obviously, that's what we want. That's what we want to do. Glenn did good against Radical Coder last night. How could he not? Honestly, Radical Coder exists purely on feeling and rarely ever has any actual facts. And he shoots a 12 gauge Browning 725. So I don't know if you guys know. You can look it up. He shoots a 725, and we're getting the gun fit for him so that he can. Right now the problem is he grew, and almost all when you buy a gun in a store, they're really kind of fit so that you point it in the store and it feels kind of good, but it doesn't actually fit you. But it feels good and you buy it, right? And really that's what it is. Welcome, Uncle Guns. Good to see you. Grumple Stillskin. No, my son is not suitable for any youth model. Which watch? Anyway, what's up, Glenn Lawrence? Give me a second here. He does not shoot youth model because my son at 15, just turned 15 a week ago, is right at 6 foot tall and 190 pounds. And so he's like,
he's grown man size.
We grow him big. We keep feeding him. He keeps growing. Right. Raging Tomato has met my son, and he's grown since she's met him. Oh, the watch I'm wearing, it's a Luminox. I forget what model, but it's cool. It is rad, actually. So thank you. I appreciate that. I like orange face divers watches, but I change watches. It's just part of the wardrobe. So, but no, Grumple Stillskin, he's not shooting a youth model. But he does need to get it fitted to him so that it points better and he can hit more clay targets. So we're trying to get that done, and feeds him gunpowder. I probably should, right? But it is that is the Lumina. I have this one. I have a stainless one with a black dial, and I have a another one that's similar to this that's got a green dial that is the commando version. I'm a watch and knife hound. I love those things. Actually, my knife is actually really cool, but I left it in the house. So it is what it is. Yeah. So just waiting. We're gonna wait on TribuCast to come in, and because I want to talk to him a little bit. And that'll be cool. I do have a few Damascus blades, not many, but a few. So what, Glenn Lawrence? I've actually been trying to find time to get a hold of you, but let me tell you what happened. I was supposed to call you back, and I dropped my phone, which I've dropped a million fucking times before, and it landed like right on a rock.
And yeah, I heard the same excuse from every other woman that told me they were going to call me back, and they just dropped their phone.
It cracked the screen. So the next day, because I had to go take my son to shooting, so the next day I had my wife go get me a new phone, and they told her that it was all set up. And so she brought it home, and when I played with it a little bit, and it seemed okay, but my phone doesn't actually work because at whatever they did, it didn't actually activate the phone. This phone does not work. It looks like it works, but it does not work, and so that's no good. So as soon as I get that done, I will call you. I promise. But and I could have called you on Discord.
So you have a dumb phone. You don't even got a smartphone. You got a dumb phone.
I got a dumb phone. Well, I have a dumb phone person, and it's really stupid because they literally told my wife that my old phone wouldn't work, even though we had the screen repaired, and not to use it and to use this phone. And so that's what I took out of the house this morning thinking it would work. And I got out and I was like, well, this isn't fucking working. So I have changed my reservation.
I'm starting to think Sarah's right here. She's saying, Greg, just admit it. You forgot to call me back, okay?
I did not.
Make up some stories and shit. It's cool. I've dealt with rejection before.
Yeah. So the original Grumpelstiltskin, the OEM Luminox watch strap, and they're rubber. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so there's an interesting thing here, Glenn, and I changed my. So get this. This is fucking hilarious. Your brain is gonna like go sideways on this one. So you told me that I needed to stay until Sunday. No problem.
Yeah.
I get online, no problem. Change my reservation for the flight, no problem. I haven't booked a hotel, so that's not a problem. I'm probably just going to stay in the hotel where the event is. That just seems like the easiest thing for me.
Yeah.
The problem came in is when I went to go change the rental car. So I just thought I'll just add a day. But when I tried to do that, they said there were no Jeep Wranglers available, and I was going to get stuck in some kind of fucking economy car. And I'm like,
in a Kia Forte.
Yeah, right. Hey, right. And I'm like, fuck that. I got one. So you know what I'm going to do, obviously, is I'm going to pick it up. And the next morning I'm going to call them. I'm going to say, hey, guys, I'm supposed to turn this in by the end of the day, but that's not happening. I'm going to keep it another day. And they're just going to have to fucking live with it.
They're going to have to live with it. Yeah.
I ain't bringing it back. Come get it.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm kind of stuck out here, so I can't return the car. You just got
to I've never seen that before. I've never seen it where that would actually happen. Where I tried to just extend my reservation, and it literally was like, well, if you cancel it, there are no Wranglers, but if you don't cancel it, there are. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting my fucking Wrangler.
Like, I'm gonna keep this Wrangler.
Well, I just want to try one because I haven't driven one in many years.
They're fun, but like, yeah, they still got their limitations. They still need some work on those Wranglers.
P Fletch 83, don't leave on my account, man. We are actually gonna have a good show rather than me just sitting here rambling around.
I had a great show just now, just wrapped up.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I had Raphael on from Women on Men podcast. He was the one that debated Andrew on whatever. and he debated Cooley on No Fugazi podcast.
Okay.
And you know, we just had a conversation. We weren't debating. It wasn't like any gotcha moments or anything like that.
Who is this again?
He's a male feminist.
Radical Coder.
No. I had him on last night.
Okay.
Ryan came on last
Who'd
night.
you have on tonight? Raphael.
Today,
Raphael. Okay.
Raphael from Women on Men podcast. He debated Andrew on whatever podcast when Andrew was in town about a month ago.
Yeah.
And you know, he was debating
I
him.
like that guy. He's a guy that looks like a
Raphael. You want me to say that better? Raphael.
Right? He looks like a serial killer. He's got that like real white face and
No. This guy's like Hispanic guy.
Oh, okay. It's a different. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, him and Andrew debated about the red pill. So I felt like, you know, like the guy did mean well. Like he had a genuine concern at helping men. And I don't think like his, like, you know, a debate is the best format to actually get that point across. So I wanted to have a conversation with him. So I reached out to him and he came on and we had a great conversation. He agreed with everything, pretty much everything that I said. I don't think there was much a disagreement from him at all. You know, it was overall good conversation. You know, like he agreed with the problems that men are struggling with. He agreed with at least my solutions to it, not so much the red pill solutions. You know, but
much along the lines where I'm at on
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think that there was a good bridge to be built rather than like, you know, just vile vitriol, you're a cock and you blah 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 blah. I think there was a more meaningful and productive conversation.
Awesome. Just really quick. First of all, Grumple Steelskin. No, I wouldn't do a Lambo rental car because I'm
gonna be right there and I might take those keys and
you know, there's a size limitation and Glenn might want to ride somewhere and you can't fit.
We're like, Grid, just hold the GoPro.
I'll
be like, Grid, hold the GoPro. Watch me do this.
Right. Yeah. This big star, small car kind of thing. But yeah, so I'm doing it. And actually I was just going to get like what I wanted was like just a convertible Mustang or a Camaro or something like that. Just something cool to drive around in while I was in Fort Myers. Cause I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. And, but I thought, well, you know, a Jeep would be cool. I hadn't driven a Jeep in forever. So no Lambo. And
you don't call it convertible. Say its titties are out. Don't call the car topless.
I can't do that. No.
Kind of like how El Camino is the mullet of cars.
That's true.
One of those too. I had a Ranchero. You guys don't know what that is, but I had a
Ranchero. Yeah, it's like the
Ford version, but it was like the front end of like a Torino. It was badass. So Abe, you're right. I was thinking Oliver, and Oliver does look like a serial. Nobody can disagree with me that Oliver looks like a serial killer, pasty faced, like.
No, I think he either is or he will be.
Yeah, I mean it's a matter of time and finding the bodies. So I'm just saying, yeah. But anyway, welcome Trippy Cast to the show. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm trying to figure this out because I was already live and I was like, fuck it, I might as well stay live.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how to get y'all's audio over to the other thing. That would do it. I just realized that would do it. I was on the wrong screen. Yeah. So how y'all feeling today?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
My
we were
stomach
just
is still recovering from the restroom trip.
Yeah, well, that can be trying. Jess, Horse Girl Jess, good to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So where did Horse Girl? Yeah, there we go. And also, don't call me Griddles. That's weird.
I was gonna ask you, like, is that a pet name, Griddles?
I don't know.
Like,
you know, the thing is that
boy.
I don't understand why people can't have to, I mean, it's a simple 4-letter name. And people just have to add to it. It's like
I agree with you. Like my name is Glenn, but for my family, and only my family, they call me Glenny, and I'm like, that's not my name. It's Glenn, but they all call me Glenny, and I'm like, you know what? I'm 40 years old, getting called Glenny. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
That is weird. That is weird. Jess, why are you hosting a drinking game? Especially in whatever's podcast and whatever's Discord. That's weird. Don't do that. Just no. At any rate, people like nicknames. You know, it's I don't know what it is. By the way, for those of you guys in the chat, at some point, you know, you might get a little upset. You might get angry. You might feel like that, you know, people have said things on this show that just really great. And what I need you to do is just remember.
Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that. You can do it. Shh. Shut up. And shut the fuck up.
It's a public service announcement that I have to make. It's just part of my contract here.
Yeah, basically he's warning you guys. I'm about to say some foul shit at some point tonight, and you know, just before
I know you're gonna want to rage, but please don't. Just keep that mouth. You know, keep that mouth shut. I love that clip too, Abe Dinkus. It's the best. Shut the fuck up. She's so happy about it. That's the great thing. Now, see, Trippy Cat, what I need a cartoon version of that. Can you do that for me?
I could.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's going to cost 1 billion pennies.
1 billion pennies? I don't know how much that is. I
don't know how much either.
But, you know, you got to figure it's not that much. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
It's too much. We'll go to hay pennies.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Pennies, man.
What about pesos? Can we go to pesos?
Well, that would be like $3.
Yeah.
There we go. Sounds good.
$3 American.
Deal.
That's way too much.
That's way too much. All right, so
too little. Yeah.
Test, I don't actually know that much about you. The first time I remember seeing you, I came on Sarah's panel when she had like this weird old debate show that she was doing, or panel, and there was this guy on there who was like in his underwear, this black guy in his underwear, and like what looked like a barn, and he was like raging, and you had to like calm him down because I somehow triggered him into the next dimension of pissed off, and which I do all the time. I'm not saying it's like unusual. I'm just saying it was like that's what I remember meeting you that evening, and
so it was like a normal Tuesday.
It was Tuesday for me, but I mean, you know, I hadn't met TrippyCast before, and TrippyCast was like really.
I don't even remember that.
You don't remember that? I remember it because it was like this guy was on like a whole other world of pissed off. I don't know what I even said to trigger him. Now that I think about it, I wish I could, because that would be great if I could do that.
I mean, Grid, you do have that way with people.
I do. I trigger a lot of emotion, whether I want to or not.
I don't remember. Was it Hurricane Pero?
I don't know who it was. All I remember was a black guy and like in a wife pleaser, and like and it looked like he was in a barn, basically. Like he was.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah,
that's the same guy that played the clip. I watched
a black guy in a barn. A black guy in a barn.
It's like a really bad apartment. Like it was a really bad apartment. Or maybe
it looked a lot like a finished basement.
Yeah, it kind of looked like, you know, where Hannibal Lecter like goes for a drink, you know, on a night out. That's what it looked like. So
yeah. Well, dude, I've been around a long time. I've been around forever. I just don't have the audience to to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's fine. So it was funny that you calmed the guy down, and then I pissed him off again, and then you calmed him down, and then I left because you know I'd done enough damage, and so it might have been Jay Prince.
Yeah, Sarah probably remembers.
Jay Prince.
Oh, Mr. Cuck himself.
Yeah,
is that the guy that? I think he played a video on one of his own streams of some guys. Oh, no, some other guy. That's what it was. I was messing around in the beef sector one day, and they had the Jay Prince guy on, and they were like, "What about this?" And they played this video clip of Jay sitting on the toilet and like pointed the camera down, and you could see the inside of his underwear were brown. And they were like, "Dude, like you showing us your shit stain," and he was like, "Everybody's got shit stains."
Yeah,
it was his
Speak for
response.
yourself. I know how to wipe my ass.
Explains why Jay Prince doesn't. I always wonder why Jay Prince didn't like me, but that explains why he doesn't like me, because I don't even remember what I said to trigger that dude into like the next.
I remember calling him a cuck because he was like,
probably not the same night I was on.
Women have this nurturing power and they just want to give it, so you shouldn't like stop your woman from giving nurturing other men. You're a cuck. Yeah.
So all right, so trivia guest, that was the first time I kind of ran into you, and then I've seen you on Sarah's obviously quite a bit, and you seem cool, but I don't really actually know that much about you. So I was just, when you asked to be on the show, I was like, this is great, because Wednesday nights I kind of do like an interview, discussion show, and this works perfect, right? So so let's talk about what's up, Trippy Cast. Well, I mean, what do you do? I mean, you don't have to obviously you don't have to dox yourself. You don't say anything you don't want to, but what do you do? How do you live your life? What do you have? I mean, I don't even know where you stand you seem kind of conservative, but maybe with some like socially liberal tendencies. So I'm just I'm really curious, and I'm sure that other people.
How long have you been a cartoon?
Ooh,
how is Toonville?
Probably about 3 years. Probably is like an actually moving cartoon.
Sarah's just like, I think Sarah better not be driving drunk right now, because she seems a little toasty.
There's no other way to drive.
Now, as a cartoon, you could live forever. So how old are you?
I hope to. I answered that question on you guys know the Playing with Fire channel, because Alex asked me.
Yes.
Or one of the girls on there asked me, and I was like, I'm 737. And then she's, they don't want to take everything seriously sometimes. And I was like, okay, take away the 7. And
I
got the real age.
All right.
So,
okay.
37, about to be 38 in October.
73 or 37? You said take away
37.
the 7. You didn't say which one.
Yeah, exactly. That was to see what they said.
Yeah. So all right. So are you? That's cool. So you, how long have you been doing your own show?
Honestly, shit. I think I started around 2017.
Really?
Yeah, but that was originally it was on a channel. Well, it was called the Cunt Stream, but I'm not sure if that's okay to say on YouTube anymore.
I got you.
Yeah, it was all one word. They ended up changing the name to Snatchcast, or they were about to. Actually came from the blood sports section of YouTube. The old IBS.
Okay. IBS.
The irritable bowel syndrome sector.
Internet blood sports. Yeah, I know IBS. Both, kind of go for both.
It kind of works both ways, right?
Right, like with Ethan Ralph and like Tonka Saw and people like that used to host people that just came on to scream at each other. Like that's when I started.
Like Fatty.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I got some things to say to Fatty. Like me and him got to have a little conversation. He was a bit rude to somebody. And
he's rude to everybody lately. I don't know what's going on with that dude, but I don't know, man. Anyway,
he's not rude to me.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're his brother from another mother. I don't know. I'm just telling. He's really rude to a lot of people lately.
I mean, hey, man, he hasn't seen me get rude yet. Actually, I've been told that I was rude, but like, hey, it ain't nothing like it was back when I started. Like, I had a friend that was really into saying the N-word because he thought he was going to take the stigma away, and I'm like, that's never going to happen, buddy.
but keep trying, because I like the energy.
He was constant. Yeah, he was constant with it. It was like back then, man. I found out that he had like ADD and OCD, and he was on
all of the initials.
Schizophrenic medication, and I was like, it might be best if I don't have this guy on the show anymore.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
So what was the premise of the show? Were you having debates, or were you just kind of like just having people yell at each other? Were you
No, hell, me. I didn't do any of that stuff. I witnessed all of it. But what I
Gotcha.
did was I would go live. I would have like a mild topic, an outline, and me and my buddy Full Metal Pickle would like either roast whatever we were doing, because we would often play videos. I stayed away from the politics stuff when I first started because I wasn't really into it,
Gotcha.
And then I eventually started or joined the cream stream with my friend Irate Prostate back then. And
Okay.
Irate, he would have a Friday show he called the cream stream, and we would go over like clips from Fox News. We would talk about it was during the first Trump administration. So we would talk about people's responses to Trump. And it was me and him and like 5 other people. We had a large cast, but he kept us all in line. So that was more like a much more professional setup, even with the name Irate Prostate. I actually recently realized that Rob Noer was interviewed on Irate's channel back in the day, like 5-6 years ago. And I let Rob know, and he goes, "I remember Irate, man." And it's like I didn't want to bring his show down, but I wasn't sure if he had known that Irate passed on or not. So I was like, I'll catch him when he's not on stream and let him know and see if he was informed or not. Yes, Sarah, the cream stream with Irate Prostate. He also had ice cream interviews, and that's where he interviewed a lot of people.
Was it spelled I Scream with an S? It's I Scream. That would have been good.
I don't remember. I think it was just no, it was just cream stream, and then the ice cream interviews. You're right. I don't remember if he did that or not. Because I was on his interview show like 7 years ago, and that kind of stiff. But yeah, I just kind of goofed off for the first few years of YouTube, and I've had like co-host after co-host. My buddy Full Metal Pickle has always been there for me though. Like he's one of those ride or die kind of friends.
That's awesome, dude.
He switched over to Twitch though because he was tired of all the YouTube drama.
See, it's interesting that everyone keeps talking to me about going to Twitch, but every time I think about going to Twitch, I hear literally like the day I think about it, somebody's going that, somebody's getting banned or their, whatever, their channel's getting nuked or whatever. So I have a Twitch, but I don't use it at all. Like Twitch is dead to me. Like who cares? So
I despise streaming to Twitch. The most I'll do on Twitch is a movie night because you can get away with it.
Gotcha.
Kind of like Rumble. Like I streamed to Rumble and Twitch or YouTube, and for whatever reason, my OBS setup has been just arguing with me over streaming to Twitch. Like last time I went live to Twitch, it stayed live for like 5 minutes, and then it went black screen and nobody could hear anything. And it fully disconnected. So I got to figure out what that issue is before I even attempt another stream over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just mainly bum around the internet, man. Like I don't talk about too much outside of that. You know what I mean? But
so
yeah.
Do you consider yourself a debater? Do you consider yourself more of an entertainer? What's your stick? What do you do?
Shit. I would say more of along the lines of entertainer. I don't call myself a debater, but I've been doing debate type stuff for years.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'll sit there and I'm like, YouTube debates are technically, for the most part, especially like before Sarah's show came along, they're not really debates, is what it was before. You know what I mean? Like I've seen some people do it where it's a full-on debate. The moderator is always going to chime in when somebody talks over somebody, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when witnessing the whole internet blood sports era, that was everybody scream over everybody. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody scream over everybody and try to say things that upset the other person to where they're going to get louder than you. That's what debating was.
Yeah, and that's one of my problems with because I think Fatty came from that era, and he hasn't matriculated up to where he is now like an Andrew debater, right? Like where he can actually make solid points and not try and just get the other person to rage. And so I can't take him seriously. But you would actually really like our my show that I do on Friday nights, where it's a blood sport debate. It's a lot like BK, but it's like serious. Like it's we have judges. We pick topics, and there's a couple of chat moves where they can make you, like if you were, say, if I were to take the pro-gun position and you were to take an anti-gun position, the chat could pay to make us reverse, and I would have to take the anti-gun position and make those arguments versus you going for the pro-gun position. So it forces you to actually debate and understand both sides of your arguments. And so it's a really good show. So far, everyone's loved it that's been on it, and has said that it's really, what they didn't know that they were looking for, but that's what they're looking for.
Nice. It sounds like fun. I mean,
and we pay money, if you win overall, and we do go to I have it set up so that we have a winner within a reasonable period of time. We don't go to 6 o'clock in the morning or any of that nonsense. So it's a really good show. You'd probably really like it. If that's kind of more your scene, then you'd probably really like it. And it's a 5-minute format, so it just works out.
Oh,
so
cool.
I've noticed that, like on Sarah's, you will come in, and it was interesting and I started kind of paying more attention because I forget who was the guest, but you came in and their position was dog shit, and you came in and kind of tore them up in a very kind of humorous but also very cutting method, and I really appreciated it for what it was, and so I was like, hey, I gotta pay more attention to Trippy, because you're not just at that point. I was like, well, he's not just joking. He's not just a comedian. He's not just coming in here and joking. He actually, he understands what he's talking about. So that's when I started kind of wondering, where your positions were, what, kind of, what makes Trippy kind of, more than a clown, right? Like because you were not being a clown at that point, right? You were
serious.
Very serious. Yeah.
Sometimes I get serious if it's something I care about. Now I try not to cut too deep when I'm talking to another person.
Right.
But it slips out sometimes. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Like Radical Coder thinks that I'm always joking and that I don't hold any of the positions that I say I do, and I don't believe anything I'm saying, but I do.
Yeah.
I try to take
He also thinks he can debate, so yeah.
I know, right? Like delusion's kind of rampant.
I can't really we have to examine everything he says for the level of delusion involved. So
exactly. Yeah. It's wild, man. I've had my time, you know what I'm saying? Like I've got the haters, you know what I mean? Like I've got people that literally hate me because I'm a cartoon.
That's interesting too, because you're not, so like there's a guy who's opposite of you, I think, named Doobie, and I actually have a tribute to Doobie. Give me 1 second. I got this. You will appreciate this. Somebody made this for me. I didn't make this. I'm not capable. But he's he's a frog avatar. Here, let me show you this.
Guys.
Yeah.
No,
So yeah. Well, it's just a frog boiling.
Oh, I was like, I can't hear it.
Yeah,
this is fine. That's cool.
Yeah, it just makes a boiling sound. Because anyway, mainly because he's so bad faith, and he just, his positions are dog shit. And
there's actually a cat that recently came out of somewhere. I don't know where the fuck the guy came from, but there's this dude goes by Dark Brandon. He's got a little devil avatar, and he's animated as well, and he is a very liberal channel. He showed up in my chat. Like, I have 1,500 subs. This guy has, I think he just crossed the threshold of 200,000.
Wow.
And he showed up in my chat to start something. And like the funniest thing about it is I don't care.
Yeah.
And I told him that. He was like, you're a racist, fascist, sexist, homophobic, blah, 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 blah. And that's all he's calling me. And I'm like, well, prove it first. Like, you're making the claim.
I get that a lot too. I get people call me things, and I'm like, well, when did I may have said something very similar to that, but reading and listening has a lot of comprehension involved. Maybe you should try that sometime.
He should.
Apparently, ladies named Nova are a problem for you.
What?
Sarah says
Star? Star Nova or Nova Star?
Nova Star. Any of
Yeah,
the
there's
any
a-
of the celestial beings, bodies, or whatever.
I got a Nova Star. I got a Nova Raven. I think there was a third Nova, and they're all people in my chat. And of course, I'm with Star very often, as you guys know. We're connected at the hip. That's
Yeah.
right. We got dual toilets, so in case we got to go.
I ran across another Avatar streamer the other day, Leaflet, who is, I think, mostly Twitch streamer and TikTok and things like that. But someone sent me one of her clips, and she's based as fuck. Like I was pretty impressed. I was like, but it's an avatar much like yours. It's very interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I just use
Wow.
character animator.
Yeah.
And I've played with it for long enough. I've got all sorts of little bits and bobs. Like you've seen my censor bar.
Your sets, when you change sets, is great, right? Like,
yeah, I've got that. I've got the walking trippy. I still got to work on that one. The head's bobbing off of the shoulders right now.
yeah, okay,
I think I'll pull it out. Like I know it's here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just.
While you're doing that,
It is.
so you seem
Gotta fix
to be
that head.
fairly conservative. Oh, look at that.
I got to fix that head though, because he's kind of losing his body there.
Yeah, the leather jacket with the circus pants is kind of weird. Maybe go with like some biker jeans or something. I don't know.
Oh no, it's a hoodie.
Oh,
He's
it's
wearing a black hoodie. Yeah, it
Oh,
used to be purple. I changed it up and forgot, and then used the wrong avatar for like 2 months, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I think Star was the one that called it out. So he was like, "Are you still using the wrong avatar?"
All right.
And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." This is my mechanic Trippy, and he's a real grease monkey, but he keeps clean. I use this one for I have like an automotive commercial that I made for my character.
Wait, you got raided after you destroyed the Furby, and Furby got booted from Tomato? What? What's that about?
I'm trying to figure that out because I saw Uncle Gun said that.
Yeah.
Trying to remember exactly how that went down. Like, for Melanie Cosmic Fox.
Oh yeah.
She
probably watching right now.
They
watching,
whatever. Had come onto one of my panels and said to School of Thought, Nova Raven, School of Thought / Nova Star. Mel said to Star, "That's why I kept my dong, was in case I have to hate fuck women like you." And I was like, wow, I'm gonna clip that. I clipped it.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And ever since then, I haven't seen Mel coming around my chat at all. And that I think it was 2 days later was when that little devil guy I was talking about showed up in my chat. It's real weird, Like I feel like maybe they were sent to a small 1,500 sub channel, having 100K. Like this is kind of strange, right? And then to start calling me every ist in the book, and then try to put all that onus on me. It's like, come on now, you're the one that made the claim. The proof is on you. So
yeah.
And that guy's been DMing me, or not DMing, but he's been emailing me.
Email,
in Gmail.
Takes effort. Yeah, takes effort.
Yeah.
Right?
Funny thing is, he hosts an open panel, and now he's blocked my phone number from his Google Voice, and he's blocked me from his chat.
Wow.
So it's like, you want to fight, but you want to run away, and you want to hide me from being able to say anything on your channel. Yet he thinks he can come to my chat and say whatever he wants. But that's the kind of drama I get.
Yeah, that's when I just ignore people. Look, if you want to argue with me, I like arguing. I will argue. No problem.
Yeah.
That's how I am. If you want to snipe at me and make it so that I can't snipe back, I'm not. I literally just ignore you. I have an amazing capacity for apathy, and just will ignore the hell right out of you. So
there we go. I'll chill in my hot tub for right now.
There you go. Just chill out. Yeah.
I got to get my jiggle physics working again. Remember, I used to have the jiggle physics. I don't know if you ever saw that one. But
no, never saw that.
Ear would jiggle in the stomach.
Oh,
I do have balls.
I don't need to see that, and Glenn certainly doesn't want to see that. So
Glenn loves balls. Check it out. Here you go, Glenn.
That's awesome. So are you an animator in like real life, or do you do this as a career, or is this just something that you're just like been doing forever and just decided to take it to the next level?
I've been I've been a sketch artist since I was little. You know what I mean? Like I started
Oh,
my
okay. Yeah, yeah.
pencil sketching. I'm still
Mhm.
really into that. That's one of my favorite things to do is just kind of like sit and sketch, and I'll do it for hours, you know.
Yeah.
I got the whole callus on my middle finger from drawing, you know. And
Okay.
was just one day, like my buddy Adonis Paul. I don't know if you guys know Adonis Paul over here, but he hosts a show he calls Late Night with Adonis Paul, where he's the food and drink administrator of Los Tejas, and he's a cartoon as well, right? And I told him, I was like, "You be careful. Once I get character animator, I'm gonna give your ass a run for your money." And then I'm looking, and he's got like 15,000 subscribers, and I got like 1,500. But you know, we should start our own cartoon network, I say.
There you go.
But
So-
yeah, like I don't animate like professionally or anything, but like I am totally willing to make art for people. I've been trying to get that off the ground, honestly.
Yeah, I actually, I might be a really good customer because I can't do any of it. Right, like any of the video assets, I can't do any of it, none of it. And I know that, I know that like Animated Effigy helped Speakeasy with VK and a lot of the video assets he has, but I don't have the ability to do any of it. So
yeah, Speakeasy is pretty cool, man. Like he hooked me up when I first met him.
Yeah.
I think I was at like 800 or close to 900 subs. And I went over to his channel just to kind of say hi, and I was brand new. And he had at the time like 300 people in his chat, I think, or 200 or something. He was pretty new at the time too. Like this was over a year ago. And he just put my link in the chat. He was like, "Go sub to Trippy, get him over 1,000." And I hit over 1K that night.
Wow.
So I thank him every chance I get, you know.
Yeah, so
I
there's an
worked on a,
interesting thing on this channel.
Yeah.
So when you come on as a guest throughout the show, the mods are going to spam the link to your channel.
Cool.
And then anytime you come on the show, even if you're in the chat, the mods will spam your channel because I believe in promoting everybody, right? If they come on, if they're a guest, and if they've been on the show. Now, obviously, you know, if you run around saying, you know, really stupid things about me or running down
absolutely.
the show, we don't do that, but you know, but we 100%, you know, I 100% believe in it costs me nothing to be nice, and promoting you in roundabout, promoting you on my show helps you and doesn't cost me a thing, right? And so why wouldn't I do that, right? So
I always tell people like we got to watch out for each other because nobody else is going to do it for us.
Sure,
you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, the same principles.
Yeah. Where did Glenn go? Glenn is he's just kicked back, relaxing, listening to the show.
I'm just
He has
enjoying
a
the
recliner
show.
toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a
He
cushy
might be
reclining
on the-
toilet, and it's very comfortable.
He might be on the toilet. Evan O'Brien wants to know if he can see your face.
It's right here.
Yeah,
it's right in your face. It's
that's
right
his
here.
face. Yeah.
It's my face.
him.
It's my face.
That
My face.
glorious mug.
I can get a lot closer. I can. Oops, I hit the wrong button. But yeah, I if you want to see my face really bad, you just go to my channel, and you go to the short section, and you'll see me yelling or getting yelled at by a certain maxer, street maxer, or maxer, whatever he calls himself this week. You'll see me getting screamed at by him and told that he's going to show up at my front door.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was on camera that night, so
yeah.
People have gone, "Oh my God, Trippy's losing his hair." It's like, yes, I'm 37. Yes, I'm losing my hair a little bit. Just like, what is it? 4 out of 5 men this age or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's creeping back. I'm going to have my hairline on the, the very, very back of my skull pretty soon. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm 40 and I have a full head of hair.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Just
Glad to hear
saying.
it.
Just saying.
hey man, it's distinguished. I could grow a nice white beard when I start growing gray. Whenever that'll happen, it's a shame.
Oh, I'm already there. I am already.
That's
there.
actually why I shave. If I let it grow out even a little bit, you can see the white and gray in my beard. I'm like, no.
Oh, boy. I'm getting a little salt and pepper in the facial hair.
Yeah, that's that's not
But
what's up.
for whatever reason, up top it's all brown still, and it's like, isn't it a shame? Like, start losing your hairline before you go gray. That's feels backwards.
My brother did that actually when he was like 18.
Yeah, dude, I got a cousin who started going gray when he was 17.
Dead Games Inc. Did I consider your offer about debates? I don't remember your offer. I think you DM'd me and then it said like your account was gone or something on Discord. I don't know. DM me again. I'm looking for a good debate right now because I haven't had a good debate in about 2 or 3 weeks and I'm itching. I'm jonesing, man. I hadn't had anybody that had any skill at all to debate with. The worst I had the other night was I got Ryan, the lunatic. He yelled for, I don't know, 5 minutes about how he had this evidence, and when I asked him for it, he didn't have it at all.
Coder,
which is normal because
the coder,
that's what leftists do. They don't ever actually ask for it. But,
well, I recently YouTube suggested that I sorry, I don't mean to sniffle on the mic. YouTube suggested that I follow a page called Parker Get a Job. I don't know if you've heard of this kid. He's like a Jubilee kid. He's been on that Jubilee channel a few times.
Oh, it's right there. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Parker.
Yeah, I know Parker.
Parker. Yeah, I know.
My YouTube.
Everyone's like Parker is gay. I do think Parker and the other kid, with the
Dean Withers.
Dean Withers, yes. Dean Withers, I think his girlfriend or wife or whatever she is a beard. That dude looks like he has taken yards of penis.
Yes.
Yards.
I've been trying to get on one of his TikTok streams just to do it. Because I've noticed that, like, especially Dean Withers, because I've seen more of his stuff than Parker's. Dean only seems to want to debate in heavy quotes, because that ain't debating. That's being a smug little coward. He seems to only want to debate people that are exactly 18. You know what I mean? Like people who have barely been able to decide what political party they are.
I had not really heard. I've seen their, obviously it comes up in my feed how these guys are debating. I'm like, who the fuck are those guys? I don't even know who those guys are.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy, and I saw them on Jubilee, and I was like, that, and Helwicki is, or Lewick, I don't know how you say that. However you say it, he's exactly right. Without their mute button and the ability to talk over people and just and like not give them any time to give their facts, they're fucking useless. Like they literally can't do anything. Like leftist destroys 100 conservatives. No, you didn't. You muted them. Like that's you getting destroyed. Literally, when you have to resort to the mute button to make your point, let me tell you something, son. You lost. Exactly.
Yes, it is.
There's no other way to put it. I know that makes me an old Gen X boomer, whatever, old guy. Sure.
According to them.
The minute you hit that mute button, you lost, son. That's the way it is.
Yeah, and that's why, like, if I ever host,
Glenn, just clip that shit. I promise you.
If I host
you already know. You know it.
Debates,
I got
or
it.
whatnot, I refuse to mute anybody unless they're throwing like the F slur.
Sure. Yeah,
because it's YouTube. You can't be F slurring around here unless you're the host of a stream and you feel like it.
Depends on which F slur you're talking about.
The slur one, not the F
I think
word.
it's faggot.
There you go. That's the one.
You can't. So I've pushed the envelope on that. It may have, and that may be part of the reason why I went from having about 100 live viewers down to about 40 live viewers, because YouTube got pissed because I was riding the laser's edge of saying certain words, you know, infrequently, but frequently, like just enough to say it and be funny, but not enough to trigger the band hammer. And I think they got tired of it. That's one of my estimations. Is I mean, I knew exactly where the band hammer would fall, and I stayed exactly on that edge.
Hold
And
on, Greg. Can you ask Evan O'Brien what does he want to debate with me about?
oh yeah, Evan O'Brien's awesome. Evan O'Brien, what would you like to debate Glenn Lawrence about? Feminism, I hope. I hope it's feminism. But anyway, yeah, I would love to debate. If I could find a good debate, I would love to have it. I need to get Boy back because I took my first real L against Boy, and it was my fault. I did not do
Greg,
my.
you took your first real L from me. Let's just
No, I
get it
didn't.
straight.
Delusion is rampant. But it was my fault. I did not prep properly. I literally was like, this is all right. Glenn's ideas on theology. That's awesome.
That's a very broad topic.
We can make that
you
happen.
gotta have to nail that down a little bit closer.
Yeah. But I have not had a really good actual debate in a while. Now I've had some fun ones where like with Nina, I had my second debate with Nina and she was drunk and all that was fucking hilarious. That was on
Sounds like it. Who's that? I don't know who Nina is.
She's been on Sarah's a couple of times. She's Japanese. And, oh, dude, I lit her up so funny.
Nice.
She drinks while she streams, and she gets completely trashed every single time I've gone up against her, and she just gets more and more like I was this close to having a rage quit. I'm pretty sure, but she was just too drunk to find the right button, and So literally, so I mean, look, again, I ride the lightning. And so I said I forget what we were debating about specifically, but it was me and Pentuple versus Nina and maybe Wick. I forget who our debate partner was. But no, not on your channel, on Wick's channel, Sarah. And I was just like, I was tearing her up. And I actually told her, she said something about her being Japanese, and I'm like, you're really disagreeing. I said, that's why I married a Chinese woman. And she's like, oh, that's racist. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. I just tore her up, man. It was hilarious. And she just kept drinking. And the more she drank, the funnier it got for me. But she was so pissed. And that was a cool debate. But the last one I had was my first actual L, and it was with Boy. And we were debating socialism good for society? And I had assumed, because I've watched a lot of his content, that he wasn't going to go full communist on me.
Oh no, bad assumption, I'm sure.
But I was wrong, because it's exactly where he went. He went literally into basically full on communism. Now he said, well, we're not going to call it communism. It's not really communism, but it's he believes that, there's nothing really wrong with the government owning some means of the production. He doesn't see a problem with with a system like Norway has, where they own the oil refineries and companies, and the people work for the government and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, I see a real problem with it. And I think that's not exactly how the system in Norway works. but I wasn't prepped very well, and I prepped completely wrong, and I just couldn't. I knew what points I needed to make, but in the debate, they didn't come quick enough. I lost by 2 votes, 2 points.
Was that on Easy's?
No, that was on
yours?
that was actually on Admiral Gibbs's channel, and it was
Okay.
Vic. No, it was Econoboy versus me,
Mhm.
straight up, and I, so basically it was 2 judges, Pentuple and I forget who the other judge was. It was some girl, but the girl, and I think it might have even been Ghosty or some. It was some liberal female, and
Not to be like terribly mean. It's going to sound mean no matter how I say it. I wasn't sure if Ghosty was trans or not for a while.
I've heard a lot of people say that, and I'm like, well,
But it doesn't matter, I guess. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I can see that. I think she's a girl, and I've heard her.
Yeah.
I've seen her debate enough that I think she's female. But yeah, I mean, I've a lot of people who see her for like the first time. They're like, "Is that a dude?" And I'm like, I mean, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And I kind of felt bad because I said that on a stream to her. I was like, I don't know if you're a dude or not. And
I think I remember you just did that like a week ago.
Yeah, right. About a week ago.
Tim Hale, you are correct. Most of the debates I've had with lefties or leftist basically boil down to word games and word salad. So you're absolutely correct. It's fine. It's fine. I don't really have it. I mean, but again, I wasn't prepared for the debate, and I did okay, but I stumbled a lot. I didn't make clear points. It was a mistake on my part, and I, it's fine, no big deal. But I want a rematch with the Conaboy. Just I don't know when that'll happen. And that was the last like really good debate I've had.
You guys gave me an idea though. So like now I can hand out L's. I just made this.
There you go. Yeah. And W's.
I have to get a W as well.
L's.
Yeah, just yank them out.
Yep.
Just drew that on the fly. That's working though, at least.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, it's just the square. Whatever. Easy peasy. Like my Mater's hat. I got the Mater's hat.
That's awesome.
I drew that right before Sarah's last stream, the tooth. I don't know if you were there for that, but I reached up to Radical Coder and I was like, "Give me that."
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Put the tooth in there.
Yeah,
that's
he
funny.
laughed it off, but I felt like that was really gonna irk him for a minute. He at least can laugh. I've run into liberals that can't even let that happen.
I think Duck's pea protein has gone bad, and he's high.
Who?
Duck's wine. Go look at it. I don't know if you can see my chat. It's hilarious.
I think I'm overlooking it. Oh, he's right there. Okay.
Yeah, Duck's wine. It's hard to speak proper English when you're talking to bigoted dipshits. Okay, that's all right.
Oh, well, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. Isn't there a duck wine or something like that? You can have some wine.
Yeah,
some cheese with that duck.
I love duck. I got to be honest with you. It's one of my favorite proteins of all time is duck, and I actually have rendered duck fat that I fry like fries and stuff in. It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So I'm a fan of duck in the cooking area. So
yeah, dude, I like venison.
I do too.
Little deer meat.
Try the venison in Wagyu tallow, and
oh shit,
and it will change your life because it really gives a really kind of beefy flavor to the venison, but it makes it more juicy. It's really good. So
Nice. Yeah, that's right. People in the chat. Men can talk about liking hot meat in our mouths, and it's not gay at all. It isn't.
yeah, it's not gay. It's the
Okay.
opposite gay. It's the opposite.
Yeah,
gay.
it's manly to
We
have some
killed it.
nice
We
tube steaks.
Yep. So,
You know, like a
bears
nice
were here.
bratwurst or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a big thick cigar hanging out of your mouth. You know, it's not phallic. It's
fine.
It's manly.
I don't smoke. I've actually never smoked. I've never tried to smoke. I've never tried to drink. I've never drank or tried alcohol, and I've never tried drugs, illegal drugs.
I used to smoke a lot of weed, right? But like even back then, and I was like, I smoked from when I was like 15, 16, something like that, to when I was about 21, and I found out that I was a type 1 diabetic.
Oh,
then
wow.
I quit weed altogether, but I never drank. Like I got drunk with some friends when I was about 17 on 2 separate occasions. And after that, I was like, you know what? I really don't like the feeling it gives me. I don't like the feeling of being out of control. And alcohol did that more to me than weed ever did.
Mhm.
And then I quit weed for 10 years. And then I started up again for about 2 years. And since then, it's been about 5 or so since I quit again. So
I just
Cigarettes,
never
though.
started,
Never
so I
been
never
able to
had
quit
to
those.
quit. That was,
Yeah.
I watched my parents smoke, and my it really bugged me, like growing up, that my parents smoked and my brothers smoked, and I lost my youngest brother to alcohol poisoning a few years ago, and
That sucks. Sorry to
yeah,
hear.
it's really bad.
Yeah.
So, and it's one of those things where if I think I'm way too much of like a control freak in my own life to give up that control to being, drunk or anything like that. I've never even desired that. Like, it's never been something I'm like, wow, I just really want to go home and do,
Yeah. That's how
do-
I am with
I don't
alcohol.
want to go home and get drunk or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, growing up, my parents, when I was really young, I remember my parents had a Christmas party, and they had friends over drinking and all of that. And that's when my stepfather drank. And my mom tore him up about it and said that if he didn't quit drinking, that that she was, she was going to leave him. Right. He'd have to
Right.
move out and all. So I think that's part of what really shaped my viewpoint on alcohol, because he quit. He quit basically right away, and he never really drank again. As far as I know,
That's
he
good.
never, for like 30 years he didn't drink at all. Like he just didn't. He just gave it up, and that was it. And my like I said, my younger brother, he started to get he started, because he was the youngest brother and he was very sheltered and all of that. And so we're not really sure why, but he started drinking, I think, in high school and smoking pot.
Oh.
And it just became, he became addicted, right? He was seriously an alcoholic. And my parents, I think my mom might have kind of known, but nobody else knew. We certainly didn't know. And I mean, I knew he drank, but I didn't think it was like an alcoholic. And the best version of the story of how he died is that I think that he knew he was really sick. I think he had been to a couple of doctors, and they told him, like, dude, you've destroyed your liver, your organs are failing because you drank for so long, and you basically have alcohol poisoning, and there's nothing really. I mean, we can save you, but life's gonna suck, right? You're not gonna have a liver, you're gonna
Right.
have you're gonna do all this stuff. And the best version of the story is that, and then he just didn't want any help, because the way he died is he was really sick, and my mom wanted him to go to the hospital, and he refused. And she actually called the sheriff's department and asked if you know, if she called the ambulance, would they take him? And they said no. If he is conscious and he says he does not want to go to the hospital, they cannot force him
force you, right?
to go to the hospital. And so,
Yeah.
you know, my mom's like, okay. And they went home, and the next morning, my stepdad's brother actually lived with my brother. They were kind of roommates, sharing my brother's house until, you know, my brother got married or something, and which he was never going to do. But and my stepdad's brother left for work, and my brother was in the kitchen, and he came, or I think maybe he was in the living room or something. But anyway, when he came home for lunch, he found my brother dead on the kitchen floor. And
Holy shit.
that was it. That was the end of it. Yeah.
Damn.
Alcohol can really fuck you up. Anything that you allow,
Yeah.
anytime you're putting something toxic in your system, it can fuck you up. And there's nothing I don't care. I've listened to people my whole life tell me that I know how to do this right. And a lot of those people are dead now.
Yeah. Yeah. My
You
stepdad
know,
used
so-
to say he was a functioning alcoholic. And it's like,
he was absolutely a functioning alcoholic. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, my stepdad used that as an excuse. He's always, I'm a functioning alcoholic. You ask him why, he'd be like, because I still go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that doesn't mean shit, dude. Especially like he could take like one day off of drinking and you could still smell it on him.
Sure. Or they sweat and you can
Yeah, it was coming out of his pores.
alcohol sweat. Yeah.
Anytime we would tell him that, no, you can't, you fucking lying. And it's like, dude, you can tell you drink so much that it's still in your system. And like he drank to the point where he lost a tooth. Like I'm pretty sure it was from the alcohol.
Yeah.
And then he passed away in like 2017, I think. He wasn't living here or around anywhere near here. You know what I mean? By that point, I hadn't even talked to him. There was like this crazy ass breakup between him and my mom, you know? And I remember one day he called her and he started getting her upset on the phone, and I picked up the other end and I was like, look here. And I called him all sorts of names. And like the way I said it, he goes, no, you're gay. I was like, yeah, great comeback. How about next time you do that to my face and we'll see what the fuck happens to yours? And he hung up on me. And you know, this is one of those situations, like kind of like tough guys on the phone, but like, let's do this in person.
Yeah.
And he never wanted that. Like when they broke up, or when she kicked him out of her place, you know, he came back with the police one day and he's like, I'm scared you're going to try to hurt me. So I brought the cops.
Yeah.
Like,
so
dude.
Trippy, Sarah has a message for you there on the screen.
Oh no. Oh, hi, Brandy Tomato. And Mama Tomato, she's out there. All the tomatoes. We got the Maters hat over here.
Yeah.
I like the Maters hat. They're a good baseball team.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things, and Clover Tack is right. You take in a ton of toxic stuff you don't even every day you don't even know about, and your body has to deal with that, and your body can. But when you start adding alcohol and drugs and everything else, Sarah says that she giggled because she's a bratty tomato. P Fletch 83, hang out if you can. If not, good to see you. I'm glad that you came back, and we'll be going a little bit longer here for sure. And
P Fletch is a good guy. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's always coming over to the channel, help me out, you know.
Yeah. So what do you do on your channel? Are you talking about issues? Are you just making fun of stuff? What do you do on your channel?
It's kind of a mix. Sometimes like if there's a political thing going down and it's like the talk of the town, I'll completely ignore it and I'll go for escapism instead. You know, like help everybody kind of forget about the BS that's happening in real life for a little while. That's more of the theme of the channel. But I mean, shoot, today I played a video of a jaguar jumping into a river and whooping the ass out of a crocodile. Like, I didn't know they did that. I didn't know that they would do that, you know, go into the water and fight a croc like that.
There was this video of like this puma or a jaguar, some form of big cat, and it was getting a drink, and this alligator or crocodile or something came in. I don't know what it was, but this I'm just going to say alligator. This
Yeah.
gator tries to take this cat, right, and drag it in the water. But what ended up happening is the cat jumped back and then jumped forward and grabbed that gator like by the throat and
Mm-hmm.
yanked it out of the water. I'm like, this is impressive. And of course, the gator pulled and the got the cat in the water, and that cat ended up killing that gator. And I'm like, that's really impressive, right? Like, this is something that you thought
Yep.
it was going to go the other way. You thought that
Yeah.
this cat was going to get jacked up by the tail or rolled underneath the water and drowned or whatever. But man, it was crazy. I remember that. I don't know if that's the same video, but
Oh no, this one jaguar just jumped straight into the water, like from a tree.
No, this was
from a tree. And
from
I
a
was like,
tree.
holy crap.
Yeah. So if you ever,
Jumped in there.
you probably don't read a lot, right? But there's this guy named
maybe.
Henry Capstick,
Mhm.
Peter Capstick, Peter Hathaway Capstick. I'm sorry, not Henry, but Peter. But Capstick he was a stockbroker, and then he just quit one day and decided to go to Africa and become a professional hunter.
Oh wow.
Right, and he did, and he wrote a book called Man Eaters. He wrote a bunch of books like Death in the Long Grass, Man Eaters, all that kind of stuff. And Man Eaters is all about animals that kill humans for food or sport, mostly food. And he talks about how jaguars are the worst because they'll get up, they get up in trees, you can't see them. They're very good at blending in and hiding in their surroundings, and they will kill you and eat you. And he's like, and one of this one line in this book is that Capstick says, I take it with great pride that I've never been chewed on by a jaguar.
Yeah.
It's like,
I bet.
it's like so common, for these animals to kill people. But it was really interesting how lions actually killed these natives because it's not in any way like I would have thought. And the way that they do it, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but the lion will come in very quietly and while the human is sleeping, and basically crush your skull with its mouth and teeth, and you die instantly without even making a noise. It just like where it like crunches down on your brain, you're just dead instantly. And then they drag you out, and that's why the natives were so scared of the lions that killed, like, I don't know, 300 or 400 of them. But the two lions, the Ghost and the Darkness, that's why they called them that, because the Ghost in the Darkness was like, it's a real thing. And those lions killed a bunch of people, and that's how they did it. Like in their sleep, in their tent, with people lying next to them.
Yeah.
And the people never knew.
Yeah.
Like, they just wake up and you're gone. And then but there's a trail of blood, like, whoops, this is bad.
It's like fucking, bears will not kill a person for food. Like they will kill you to disable you, basically. They'll kill you to kill you is what they do.
Yeah.
They'll tear you to shreds and then they'll just leave you there.
Yeah. And so there's Capstick talks about how the worst thing possible is for a lion to develop a taste for humans, because humans are so much easier to kill than anything else in a lion's diet.
Yeah.
We don't run fast. We don't hide very well. We stink. We're very easy to track down. Literally, like humans, once a lion decides humans taste good, it's all over for humans in the area, because they're going to eat.
There was a story, I think, late 1800s, early 1900s, something like that, where there was two lions attacking guys that were building a train.
Yeah, the Ghost in the Dark.
Yeah, the train tracks.
With Michael Douglas and some other people, yes.
Yeah, I think didn't they say they shot that one lion like 9 times or 7 times or
I
something?
don't know if they actually did that, but those lions are stuffed in a museum somewhere. Like that was a real thing.
They were large. They were bigger than other lions, I think.
Well, they ate a lot of people. So
yeah.
I don't know that they were
protein.
specifically larger, but they were definitely again the man eaters of Savo. That's right. And that's Capsic talks about that. They were just, again, once they developed that taste for humans, we're just super easy to kill compared to all the rest of their food.
Yeah.
So
Very distinct scent comes off of us for them and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I see Clover or Clover Tack. Well, you got a check mark. I meant to say cleaner, but hey, both of you guys in the chat there.
Yeah.
Hi, Cleaner. That was an interesting debate the other night.
Oh, the debate on Sarah's the other night was crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I could have stayed longer, but
well, it reminds me of the thing that I see coming out of a lot of the liberals is like they'll make a claim, they'll state it, and then they'll state it as fact, but they'll never show you the proof that backs up what they say.
Yes.
Like that Parker and that other kid that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
I've heard both of them.
Deal.
Yeah, I've heard both of them make the claim that Trump called all black people lazy, but there's no proof for that. I've looked for it, and that never happened.
Yeah.
It's like, if that were the case, then why would he have any, like, if he's so racist, why would he have any black people in his cabinet that he handpicked? Like the pardons are. He handpicked that woman. And it's like, yeah, he also pardoned her in his first term. So, like, why would he be pardoning anybody if he hated their skin color so much?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about leftists, right? Like, and look, all right, my mom is what you would consider a blue dog Democrat, right? She's a Kennedy Democrat.
Yeah.
And so when a lot of times I will tell her something that's going on in the Democrat Party right now, or something going on in the world, and she'll be like, "Oh man, the Republicans are just out of control." I'm like, "Mom, that's the Democrats." like the Republicans are fighting against this. And so, she represents kind of what I consider the best and the worst of Democrats. My mom is one of those that'll say, like, nobody needs a machine gun. And I'm like, well, I have a machine gun.
Yeah.
So, do I not need it? I paid for it. I paid for the stamp. I paid, I waited back then it was about a year and a couple of months to get approval to purchase the item that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why can I not have that? I went through the deal. And nobody needs an Uzi, nobody needs this. And I'm like, it's not about need. I just think it's freaking cool.
Well, I know who doesn't need Uzis, and that's the people who are getting them, gangsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need them. They don't need no kind of gun, but they're going to get it even if it's illegal, right? So screw it. You might as well be able to have equivalent firepower.
Man, I love the fact that, and we've just gone so far afield, so who cares? So here's the thing. I actually really, really enjoyed owning fully automatic weapons. And the reason is because I could sell them for a massive profit. And it didn't matter when I bought them. So when I was in college, I've told this story before, but when I was in college, I paid a large amount of my tuition by building and selling or customizing rifles. I would buy cheap rifles at the gun show or the gun store or whatever, and I would rebarrel them and put new stocks on them, and then I would sell them to hunters or whoever, right?
Right.
And I did the same thing. I did a few pistols, but mostly I did hunting rifles, and I have a funny story about AR-15s, but that's another deal. But and then I figured out that I could buy like an H&K MP5, and I could buy an H&K MP5 K, which is the short one, for. At that time I was spending like $3,000 for one, which was a whole lot of money in like 1990, right? 1991. It's a lot of money. $3,000 was a lot. And but I buy it and I bought one and I was like, this is cool. I kept it. Like about a year and a half later, somebody paid me like $6,000 for it. I'm like, holy crap.
Wow.
That's pretty good. And I had fun, right? Like, so I have the fun, right? And then I sell it and I make a lot of money. And so I started doing that. I would buy the cool guns that I really liked, and I'd enjoy them slightly because full auto is not that fun. Full auto is fun until you have to reload the mags 8 times. And and I really enjoyed it, and I made a pretty decent amount of money doing that. And I sold. I really liked HK MP5s. But I had a Sten gun for a while, which was one of the very few transferable Stens. I had.
Are you telling everybody your Lord of War, your gun running stories?
I'm not.
Golden AK-47.
Yeah, no, I never had one. But I had a lot of. I never did try and get an FMP90 because, as far as I'm aware, there are only like 3 or 4 P90s, transferable P90s in the United States. Right now, if I had to guess, I would say that they're probably north of $60,000 to buy one.
Damn.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like the AR-50, the M16s that I used to buy and sell. I used to buy an M16 for about $3,000, $3,500, and I could sell it for about a year or two later. They would all basically double, maybe a little less or whatever. And they got to be like $18,000. What's called a rewelded receiver. And this is where the government demilitarized some receivers and a Colt cut them in half. And then people went and the guy bought a barrel of them or a dumpster full of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they went back and they welded them back together. But they're legitimate, transferable because they were made originally before the 1986, I think. And they were made that they're legal to transfer. They're transferable. M16s can be built on them. And a re-weld, just the receiver right now is probably $10,000, $15,000.
Holy shit.
Just the receiver. And that's a $30 part in real life. Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a $100 part right now, but it's a cheap part in real life. The last price check he did for a Solotherm S18 20 millimeter semi-auto cannon was a bit under $20,000. Yeah. Can't find one for sale. That's true. They don't. I mean, the problem is right now is like, you can buy like an HK93, you can buy an HK91, you can buy these guns. They exist, but there are so few that are transferable that finding one for sale is rough. When you do, there's no haggling price. If they want $20,000 for it, they're getting $20,000. Somebody somewhere is going to pay $20,000.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a collector. It's just somebody who really wants that thing. What's really odd here in Michigan is like if your house gets broken into, basically the law says that you have to fend that burglar off with an equal to or lesser than weapon.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah. So like if they come in with a shotgun, you can defend yourself with a pistol and you're okay. But if they come in with a knife and you use a gun, you can get sued. Or go to jail or whatnot.
Not if they're dead. They can't sue you if they're dead.
Well, yeah, but the state might take it into their hands or something. It's weird.
So here in Tennessee, we have a really weird law.
Yeah.
And it says that you can defend yourself with a firearm. You can legally carry a firearm, but not for the purposes of going armed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's a legal definition, which basically means that I'm going to go looking for trouble.
Right.
Right.
But
so
it would be hard to prove that intent, though.
It's really hard. As far as I know, only like maybe 3 people who really were obvious that they were using that.
Yeah.
They chased somebody down with it. So it's a very weird law. And we're trying to get it struck down right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
some weird ones here. Like if you, again, with burglary, right? If a burglar breaks into your house in Michigan and they get hurt, they can turn around and sue the homeowner.
I've heard that. I've heard that. And that
That's why
it
you just
happened.
kill him. Just kill him.
It happened. Like this dude broke into somebody's house and I guess they had something against the window and he fell into the window and he like cracked a rib or something and he sued him.
It's a very interesting world that we live in. So like when I grew up, one of the houses that we lived in was out in the country and it had a very long driveway and it was it was on a what now is barely asphalt, but back then was gravel road next to a train track, right? Like you had to, like, we were a destination. Like if you had to come to our house on purpose, like you didn't just drive by and go, oh, I think I'll stop over here. And so if somebody pulled into the driveway, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that back in the day in Tennessee, the sheriff didn't pull in your driveway. For most people, the sheriff would not pull in your driveway without calling first and saying, hey, we're coming by to talk to you. Don't shoot at us. Right. Like, because that's what happens. Because people live out in the middle of nowhere and, they have a right to defend themselves and they're not going to call the sheriff. They're not, by the time the sheriff gets there, it's probably tomorrow. Right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
And
And we had
sirens constantly over here.
what's that?
There's always sirens blaring around here. I'm close to Detroit though, so they're probably heading that direction. To be honest,
right. I remember when I was really young, we had a so the one of the houses down I say the street down the road. I mean, it was pretty far down the road, but it was within walking distance for us. Probably not kids today, but for us, it was not a big deal.
Yeah. And
I remember this house had become abandoned. I don't know what happened, and there were some kids. This was I was in high school at that time, and there were some kids that used it for like kind of like a rave house, right? Like they would just go party in it, and it really didn't do any damage to the house, but they had done some stuff, and I don't know if they pissed somebody off or they just it just became, that there were so many cars that somebody decided to be a weirdo about it. But somebody was actually shooting at cars at night down the road that were just driving down the road. And it's a very scary thing, because you can't see because you're in the country. There are no street lights and you can't see. And all of a sudden, somebody's shooting. And so it took a long time to get that sorted out. And everybody was on edge. Like, I remember, like nobody drove at night, it was crazy.
Yeah, it sounds scary.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to get shot at. So, but it ended up that some locals figured out who it was and what was going on, and I'm not really sure how that ended up because I was in military school at that point, so I wasn't home all the time. Yeah. But it was an interesting deal. I guess I should address this. So the debate night is on Friday night. I will try and be here for it, but I am going to probably I'm probably going to have Anson Knowles be the moderator, and then we'll bring on, we'll just get some judges, and I'll just have Anson run the show. We're going to make some changes for this week to the pricing structure. Anson wants me to try something. I don't have a problem with it. We're going to lower some of the prices and some of the stuff. And the other thing I think we're going to do for Friday night is I really, really want to have some good debates and so we're going to come up with some good stuff in the next day or so. I need to talk to Anson about hosting and how I'm going to set that up, because I will not be, I will have just gotten off a plane when the show is supposed to start. So it's going to be very hard to deal with. So
Oh, is that going to be on your channel or Sarah's or whose?
My channel.
Ah,
So
nice.
I host this debate on my. It's a debate game show basically,
Right.
and
You were telling me earlier.
yeah. So
That's what I was asking.
It's rigged. It's rigged for Glenn not to win.
No, it's not. So I mean, I should. That's a great idea. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to make that
Oh,
happen.
dude. Yeah, I had a straight up game show for a few weeks. It got a little bit too much for me to handle by myself, but I rigged it every single time. Every single time. Because
So-
I had questions that only I knew the answer to. So when people would answer the right answer, I'd just switch. I'd just be like, no, you're wrong. It was this one.
I had a game like that I did. It was a
Mhm.
trivia game, and I always won. And
Hell yeah.
All the questions.
I won't say what kind of trivia game because
Yeah. At any rate, so the way that this works, TribuCast, is the you get the chat buys the debate, or the moderator. If nobody buys it, the moderator just says, "Okay, you and you are going to debate." Each debater gets 1 minute to state their position once we decide the topic. So again, let's say that the topic is feminism, right? And so you would be for, I'd be against. I would give my position of why I think it's, we don't need feminism. You would give your position as to why we do it within 1 minute. You get a 1 minute opening statement, and then you get 5 minutes of open debate. And at the end of it, the judges decide who won. We have 3 judges. Usually, we have pretty good judges. Cleaner 409 is a judge. Tyler, average debate enjoyer, is a judge. Anson Knowles is usually a judge. Glenn has been a judge several times. So we have several judges to choose from, and we just rotate them through so nobody gets really burned out. Actually, Tiki Tack is a really good judge too, and I haven't seen him. I think he's very busy. But we get and the judges vote on who or give their opinion. Hey, TribuCast won, Glenn won, and then so whoever gets the votes wins, and whoever doesn't loses. And the interesting thing, I think one of the interesting things is that you can buy. Obviously, you can buy back in, but we really kind of take this seriously. And once you've whoever is eliminated, the rest of the panel, along with the judges, will give you feedback about why, what you could have done better, what arguments you missed out on or should have made.
unless I'm judging, I'll just tell you suck and you lost.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's good to give people some feedback, positive or negative or whatnot. Constructive criticism.
Yeah. Well, I think I want people to be better. And
exactly.
So, and we get a lot of leftists, like more than any other debate show. I get a lot of leftists. I don't know,
more, man. I'm trying to do a debate thing on my show on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And I've gotten like 2. I think it was non-fawn on one and radical coder on the other.
Yeah, non-fawn hasn't been on. I don't think the format suits him because I don't think he can make a point without a lot of rambling.
Yeah, he does have he takes the floor, basically.
Yeah, Abe Dinkus has been on. Abe,
Evan, I don't even care enough about you to hate you.
Yeah, I think he's just having a big one. But
I have to care about you to have a feeling about you.
That's true. Love or hate. They're both feelings. And he might love you so much that he hates you a little bit, or he might hate you enough to where he loves you a little. So you
I love to hate people.
You got to get there first.
I hate to love it. I hate to love people.
There you go. And why not, man?
Yeah, but the debate channel or the debate game is really good. and we pay out if you win. It's a good time. It really is. So, Ducks, why I can't tell you why you got kicked. The mods can. I don't actually ever. It's really weird. The people all the time think that I'm up here kicking people or something when I don't. I mean, I'm not even using my hands. You know, I'm not playing with a computer at all. So, that's why I have mods, right? So if the mods booted you, obviously you aggravated one of the mods, and they didn't want you on the show for a few minutes. And
That's true.
But they didn't give you a perma ban, so you're back.
Yeah,
So-
mute is much different than a ban. So like, I actually got this guy years ago, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if he's still mad at me. I muted him in a chat, and for like months, which turned into years, he would show up and he would go, "You silenced my free speech," and I'm like, "No, I didn't, because you're talking right now. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You silenced my free speech in the chat 7 years ago." It's like, oh, I did. No.
So avoided Hornet. That reminds me of a joke. And so this woman puts an ad out on Tinder for she needs a good man that won't beat her, who won't beat her and won't run away from her. And that's really kind of low requirements, but that's what she got. And who's good in bed. And so she places this Tinder ad. This talks to this guy a couple of times. And he's like, "Hey, I'll come over." And she's like, "Okay, great." So she hears the doorbell ring. She opens the door, and it's a guy, and he doesn't have any arms. He doesn't have any legs. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I'm your date." "What are you talking about? How can you be my date?" And he's like, "Well, I don't have any arms, so I can't beat you. I don't have any legs, so I can't run away from you." And she's like, "Well, what about good in bed?" And he's like, "How do you think I rang the bell?"
Oh, damn.
Right? Yeah.
Dude,
so there you go, Avoided Hornet. No hands.
One day I'm sitting there with my buddy I was talking to on a Xbox like 360, right? My friend Matt, he goes, "You know what?" And everybody has always called me Trippy. It's always like part of my gamer tag or whatever. He goes, "You know what, Trippy? I think I'm into a new thing." And I was like, "Oh God, what is it?" And he goes, "Well, I kind of want to get with a double amputee." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Well, I have a girlfriend currently, but I'm not going to like cut her legs off." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "But I do have a Mustang with a roll cage." I'm like, "Okay, dude, whatever." He goes, No, hear me out. He goes, there's no roll cage on the passenger side. So if I hit the brick wall just hard enough," he goes, "she likes putting her legs up on the dashboard." I'm like, "Oh my God." He goes, "And then I can just take her home. I got a ceiling fan in the bedroom. I'll rig up a rope system and she can sit and spin." I'm like, "Dude."
Okay.
And then I hear a girl laughing, and he's like, "She's sitting right next to me."
That's funny.
And you're going to double
$5 comes in from Chronos 420. Glenn is a boomer with oversized ears. Grid should be more southern. Man, probably. Been a bit since I talked shit, so feel free to send any back. No, I mean, I'm
Chrono,
pretty...
you don't get to talk because you made a confession about giving a woman an orgasm. Okay, you confessed for
give. They have to earn that shit.
He facilitated a Super Soaker event, and he felt the need to confess this.
He was bragging. He wasn't confessing. That's what was up. Bad Chronos. Where's my rolled up newspaper? That's what I need.
And you were supposed to come back until you did it 10 more times.
Yeah, you're always supposed to provide the orgasm for the woman. You know, it's your job. It's part of your job.
So I have a question for you, Trippy. Have you noticed that the number one technique of leftist is the straw man?
Yes.
It's
a straw man. Get a real man. They got to get a straw man. So that's the only thing they could get. They can't find a real man. So
that's true.
It's a really interesting phenomenon in that I sit here and I watch a lot of different, and it's usually the rabid leftist, right? The ones that really can't actually make an argument because they literally, first of all, they take their position because of feelings. They feel this, they feel that. That's why that's why they have the beliefs that they have. They don't have any data. They don't care about reality. They don't care about, well, basically anything, right? Except
No, just as long
feelings.
as
My feelings.
right.
And their feelings trump everybody else's feelings, by the way. It doesn't matter that they're pissing you off by the things they're saying because they're right and you're wrong, and fuck your feelings. Mine matter more. And so to that end, any argument you make, they immediately revert to the straw man for your position. And then they'll go with the fake documentation. Studies show. Show me the studies. Well, I will. I can. I absolutely can. Okay, well, go ahead and do it. And that's actually how I got Ryan the other night. As Ryan was saying that there was all of this this evidence that the riots were actually peaceful, and that everybody, that all of the live video feeds that I was watching were not making. They didn't make any sense, and they were all fake and all that kind of stuff, or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Prove it to me. And he's like, oh, I can. I'm like, oh no.
What riots? What riots?
What riots?
Yeah.
Nobody's called them riots. Oh yeah, they have.
You know what cracks me up is people from not LA try to tell me how the riots were, as if like they are here.
Yeah. Well, that was the other
I
thing.
almost ran over 5 Mexicans on my way to my tattoo appointment because they're holding up traffic.
Oh shit.
Cleaner says the other thing they like to do is dismiss your evidence, saying, well, I don't believe that, or I will have to read that. Yeah. That's actually one of the reasons why if it were up to me, nobody would ever platform Cosmic Fox again on a serious debate platform.
Yep.
The reason is this. The reason is this. When Mel,
you say it.
I was looking for the right. Yeah, I'm trying to not like. I'm trying not to. I mean, look, I run up hard against
YouTube.
The YouTube algorithm, so I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm trying to figure out my level, right?
Yeah, like you were doing. When all else fails, use the name.
Yeah. So the Furby, like one night, Anson and I were we were actually having a good discussion on Sarah's channel, and the Furby, and she brought the Furby up, and the Furby immediately made the entire whatever we were discussing was out the window, and it was all about the Furby. And one of the things that is interesting is that the C19 event was exactly the same as another event that Fauci. I made the statement that Fauci should be in jail because he did the same thing with C19 that he did with HIV, and that was he knew that HIV was limited to homosexuals by and large, and that it came that it didn't come from apes. It was
yeah.
He knew that. He knew that early on. They knew that, not like 6 years later, but like within the first month. They knew that, right? But Fauci was like, no, we can't say that. We need this to be we can't say that this is going to be mostly limited to homosexuals. We have to have everyone believe
it has
that
to be a pandemic.
They get AIDS. Yeah, they have to. He had to
it.
create that because otherwise nobody would take it that seriously. Whatever. And so that's why, and you guys probably don't remember this, but I remember like cops would not touch somebody that like if they got a phone call or if they got a call in the 911 that said, "Hey, we have this," and I remember a call such as this, saying, "Hey, we've got a guy that's been diagnosed with AIDS that is spitting on people and
Mhm.
he's bleeding and whatever." The cops would not go to that call
Mm,
because they didn't want to get spit on. They didn't want to get the blood on them. They didn't want to risk getting AIDS.
damn. Well, I know he also had told people like, "Hey, be careful. Your kids could bring it home and it could be inside the cereal box. So wear
Yes.
gloves." And it's
Yes.
like, dude, and while he was going to underground men's bathhouses in New York, and,
Yeah.
he had to check it out
Oh,
for
okay.
his
I
pants,
didn't.
guys.
Yeah. So, but it was the exact same thing that he did with C19, where he said that it came from bats and it affects everybody. And he didn't say, hey, it's going to affect the old and infirm, and it's really not going to be that bad for 98%
Yeah.
of humanity. So he didn't say that, and for that for repeating the exact same thing that he did during HIV. I mean, he's a man. He needs to go to jail. He's done some bad things. And so the next thing is Furby saying, "Well, I have these studies that show that it did or could have transmutated between bats to humans, and the wet market is still plausible." And I'm like, no, they tried everything under the sun. The CDC and all of these other scientists tried everything under the sun to prove that it could have come from a bat, and they couldn't. It is a weaponized disease. It was engineered. It doesn't exist in nature. I mean, it's just the way it is. And Fauci has maintained the opposite of that. And so therefore he deserves to go to jail. And the Furby was like, "No, I have proof." And I'm like, "Okay, great. I'll see it."
Mhm.
Oh, I don't have it right now. I'll give it to you later. I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's later. But
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah, later.
don't get my
I'll show you
contact
later.
info.
I'll send it to you. And I'm like, okay, but then when I said that, all the stuff about Fauci and HIV and Fauci and the wet market and all that, and I posted
Right.
links to all of the studies, right, all of the articles, everything I put in, and it was like, well, I don't have time to read that. I don't care anything about that.
Yeah, it's like,
Here's
well,
the
oh, you should have sent me this before the debate. It's like we didn't even like
This
discuss
isn't a
in
debate.
specific
This is just,
spot. Yeah.
so
It's like I know Mel did that a couple of times. I witnessed it on Sarah panels where Mel's like, "Well, you should have brought it before we even started talking." And it's like, but we never said we were going to get to this part. So
right.
how would I know that I was
Yeah.
supposed to bring anything? And it's like, a lot
Yeah,
of the debates are suggested by one party and then the other one agrees. So it's like they already know what they're going to bring.
Well, I didn't like the way that Mel did that with Tiki Tack. And again,
Oh, yeah.
look, we let her come. We let the Furby come onto my game show, and I try my best to make sure that the Furby is treated as fairly as anyone else. Because up until I mean, for the most part, Mel has behaved and
Mhm.
not been a problem. But all of the mods know the minute that the Furby becomes a problem, gone. Right? Like, I'm not talking
Right.
about bitching in the chat. I'm not talking about whining that we're unfair or anything. I mean, everyone's going to do that. Who cares? I'm talking about the actual nonsense that she pulled with Sarah, that she's pulled with basically every other show. As long as the Furby is being compliant to our rules, great. Minute
Right.
that the Furby is not, Furby goes gone. That's
Mhm.
just the way it has to roll around here. And I think that most people should believe that, right? So
Right.
yeah.
Man, that night with Mel and and Sarah, that shit was.
Oh, the
I was
last
like,
night that Sarah
whoa.
had her on was I was like, why
That
is
last time, yeah.
Furby here? And Sarah's like, said something about, well, the Furby, brings in the money and all that or whatever. I forget what it was. And I'm like, yeah, it's useless though. And I kid you not, it was like probably 10 minutes later. and the Furby was
Jeez.
just going off and raging at Sarah, and Sarah, who's been nothing really but nice to the Furby and really
Yeah.
put up with a lot, finally had
Yes, she
enough,
did.
and it was
I
wonderful.
yeah, I know. Oh, I clapped a little bit. And I was like, whoa, shit, okay, there we go. There we go.
Right. Go.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, I have streamed with people that were trans. Like I used to be on a channel like that channel I told you about at the start, right? There was a person on there that was trans but wasn't out. Like nobody knew. People could tell a little bit by the voice, but that the friend of mine, I don't even know what she goes by right now, but when she told us, I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like big deal. Right.
Yeah.
And there was the host of the channel, because it was basically like this one dude Schmeckle, and then like 20 of us that
I
would
can be
co-host
honest,
stuff with him.
people you hang out with have the most interesting screen names.
Yeah, Schmeckle is like Jewish for something.
All
Or
right.
Hebrew for
that's
something.
awesome.
Yeah, I think it was penis, balls, something like that.
Yeah.
And
Were they brothers?
Huh?
Were they brothers? You know,
Oh,
penis
Schmeckle?
and balls.
Oh yeah. No, the balls are brothers, but the penis is a cousin. You know, and he tells you, he'll look up at you, he'll go, "Why do you put me in a dark hole and make me do push-ups till I throw up?" You know, and then you got to answer to him. But but back on that channel, man, like the host of the channel, the owner of the YouTube channel, blamed Lo-Fi for his viewer dip, when it was like we were all discussing behind the scenes how he was already losing viewers before the announcement that she did. And it's like Lo-Fi was born with a medical disorder that caused her body not to produce enough estrogen. Right. And she told me the whole thing about how, like, when she went to the doctor in the country that she lives in, I think it was like Denmark or somewhere near, they didn't have a name for the medical disorder that she has. So she was born a boy. Her body didn't produce enough testosterone on its own. So when she hit puberty, they gave her testosterone, right? And she told me that what happened was she got mad at the entire world. Every time she woke up, it was like hell. And she said she tells her doctor, and after like 6 months of this treatment, the doctor said maybe we should try estrogen. So that's why she ended up being called a she, you know, is because they tested first. And it's like, yeah. So legitimate medical disorder ended her where she's at, you know. And it's like, that is a completely different story than I hear out of these other people. Where it's like, I don't have a medical disorder. I just don't want my thingy down there anymore. Like, okay. All right. You know.
Well, there's a penis tax, and they just don't want to pay the penis tax.
Probably.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to sit here, though, and play fucking dress up with these people. I don't want to play, let me play your little game where you're this and I'm that, and you have to be referred to as such, you know? Like the attack helicopter thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and play adult dress up with most people. You're not going to come to me and tell me that I have to call you a woman. Especially like, I don't know if you guys have seen that Lily guy that's been going around, the one from TikTok. Recently took photos in the Disney bathroom with people behind him and is claiming it's some kind of trans attack.
I don't watch.
Lily Tino. That's the name.
Wait a minute. Why did not anybody just like beat the brakes off of him and take his camera?
Well, I guess I don't know, actually. But Lily Tino's getting sued by another person that was in that bathroom when Lily took these photos, right? And it's a dude. You know, Lily's a guy with an OF page and has done videos with like child-friendly language trying to explain sex change operations. And so it's basically rage bait from a very obvious man dressed up in women's clothing with women's hairstyles and shit. And you know, like I said, recently it was at Disney in Florida. And Lily Tino's like walking around saying, or going, I guess the thing was whatever the hell, went to a restaurant and they call him sir. So that was the first thing, got to throw a fit about that because apparently it cuts like a knife, and it's like, I don't think it does. But that was the first thing, and then turns around and goes, I'm going to go use the women's restroom because I am a woman. And it's like, in Florida, I think the laws might be different than Cali, buddy. But then he talks about how he peed standing up in the women's restroom and took a picture with a fan. And yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, there was people in the background that didn't want their picture taken. And that's why Lily's being taken to court. Might get a pretty hefty suit laid on there.
That's nuts. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's
Well, I
like
feel
obviously
like,
a balding
they took the
man.
picture and like you are like just pants down, bent over, and like trying to like wipe your ass or something, and he got you in mid wipe. That would be embarrassing. This guy should get sued.
Oh, he is. He's supposed to be. Yeah. And that's what this Lily Tino dude does all the time on his TikToks. Goes to different restaurants, gets called sir or man or mister or whatever, and then throws a fit about it, and then gets their money back for the food they were supposed to buy. And then they'll upload it to their TikTok and get hundreds of thousands of views on it. And people will be like, that restaurant's owned by bigots. And it's like, I think you targeted that restaurant.
Like my thing is like, if you're gonna start like, if they're gonna call me a misogynist or a homo, I'm just gonna own it now. Like, yeah, you're right. I don't like you guys. I don't like you. Happy. Okay, there we go. You happy?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, get the hell out of here. Nobody wants to be, like I said, playing adult pretend.
I'm
so
glad I'm not on TikTok. I would lose my freaking mind.
I've gone through TikTok. I think I might use it as a place to get more videos to make fun of, because I do that. Like you asked me earlier.
Yeah.
Like I'll make fun of stuff for a whole stream and then I'll get political towards the end, or I won't get political at all. It's kind of like however I'm feeling that day. And like I was telling you about Irate, right? I was on his panel for 3 years and we talked about the Trump administration and like the positives and negatives. We had people that were I wouldn't say like liberals and conservatives, but we were mostly conservatives, and we would just talk about different situations and bills and things that were getting passed from a middle ground. It wasn't like we were sitting here going Trump or anything. It was just, trying to be level-headed about things.
That's a good leading question. What do you think of Trump's first 160 days or whatever it is now?
It has been a media fiasco, as was his first administration, but they do it on purpose, man. They do it on purpose because they know people will get, on the computer and see these clips. It's beneficial, I think, for the most part. I think it's hilarious what happened with him and Gavin Newsom.
Isn't it? I mean, and I'm not up on all of it, but it just seems like Newsom just ate his own foot. Like he just.
Yeah.
He just, it's not like he stepped in it. He like jumped in with both feet, just like.
He sure did. And then tried to sue the Trump administration for, bringing in the National Guard. And it's like, dude, you have no proof that the National Guard caused any of this.
Yeah. Literally everybody.
I'm still wondering where our bullet train is.
That's I have not heard anything about the second lawsuit that was, or not lawsuit, but the second investigation into him for all the misappropriations of funds and all of that.
Oh yeah, like where'd all the money go for the wildfire, and how come the water that was supposed to be set aside to put out the wildfire was basically drained, like empty. Like what's up with all that shit? How many of those houses that caught fire are getting sold to what is it, Blackwater?
No, it wasn't Blackwater.
Crazy. Is it,
so it's an interesting,
whichever government organization or non-government organization or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing with
BlackRock. Thanks, Wiki. Lee Wiki.
Yeah, Wiki.
In your chat. Yeah, BlackRock is what I meant to say.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing with Newsom. So he barely avoided going to jail 3 years ago, something like that. For the train to nowhere and where all the money went and why it was never
Which we
finished.
still can't find.
Yeah, they can't find it. So that they built. Is it 100 miles of track or 10 miles of track? It's some ridiculously low number of track that they laid for this train. The train itself does
The
not.
only tracks that we got in California are the heroin tracks that people are shooting up in their veins.
No, they actually built some tracks out in the desert. But I don't think there's a train, right? Like there's supposed to be a train somewhere. I don't think there's a train. Anyway, so Newscomb is the one that appropriated all of that money, and apparently he really appropriated it. Like nobody knows. First of all, nobody knows where it is, right? There's no obviously there are no results, and we're talking billions of dollars.
We're gonna see it soon. We're gonna see it in a few years. I'm telling you, we're gonna see it when he is running. His campaign is already paid for. Thank you, California. That's where the money is. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's very interesting because he was taken to court over it the first time, and I believe that was a criminal prosecution, and or maybe it was a civil prosecution. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, I have no idea how he did not go to jail, but he didn't on the first one.
Right. That's because he's a politician.
Right, in California. The second
he is
one
the nephew of Nancy Pelosi.
He is the nephew of Nancy Pelosi, as well as
of course he didn't go to jail.
So
Governor.
The second case is actually against Newscomb himself, as far as I can tell, and it's got some teeth, but it has been stalled for at least the past 2 years and maybe 3 years. It's just like apparently it still exists. But it's not going anywhere. Like nothing's happening. And
you got to pocket that shit.
I think the reason why is because if it goes forward, Newscomb's probably going to go to jail. Like there's no the evidence there is I believe super conclusive, and like he's not going to be able to get out of that. And so they're just basically stalling it forever. And
dude, there's some weird crap going on. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. Probably. I'm sure you've heard of people talking about Soros money for liberals and protests, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The governor of Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she used to work directly for Soros.
Right.
And she's one of the governors that during the, like you said, C19, was putting sick people in retirement homes with the elderly. I don't know if you saw it, but the video of that one dude beating the snot out of an elderly man during that time frame, that was in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that guy was diagnosed with having it and then put in a retirement home for treatment or whatever. And then he was trying to steal the elderly guy's bed. Like he claimed that was his bed, and he just started hitting him. That elderly man had, I think, dementia and Alzheimer's. And after receiving that beating, he stopped eating until his death.
Oh, wow.
He just quit eating. He would not eat. And it's like, she did that. She stuck a whole bunch of sick people in with the elderly, just like in New York, how that happened. And it's kind of weird that you guys seem to be partnering to do the same activities. And it's not just because you guys have a D next to your name. I'm sure that's not the only reason.
Well, it's an interesting thing, I think, with most of this stuff. There's a lot of there's just a lot of unanswered questions, and we can never get anybody in court.
Oh, hell no.
Right? Like you just can't get anybody in court. You can't get them. You can't beat them up. You just cannot win, right?
And some of these people need to be taken out back and introduced to the hose. Just whap.
Right, yeah, for sure. And I'm shocked. I mean, honestly, I'm shocked all the time about. The biggest thing I'm shocked about right now is that Newsom is still governor with all of this legal stuff hanging around, and nobody cares.
Right.
And if you talk to most Californians, they have no idea.
Of course
Like
not.
there's no idea. They're like, well, he's not the best governor, but he's not doing that bad, you know.
Mm-hmm. And
And
it's just a shame. Like I thought Whitmer was going to be voted out after that whole ordeal, but nope, she's still governor here.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Oh
she's
yeah,
about to
Whitmer.
reach her.
How is Whitmer even? How is that even a thing?
I think she's about to reach her term limit. They before Kamala ran, they were talking about having, or no, it was way before that. Before Biden got in, they were talking about having Gretchen Whitmer be his running mate. And I was like, well, there you go. You just lost the election. And like personally, I'd never heard of anyone named Kamala Harris before she was, running for vice president. I'd never heard that name in my entire life. Kind of the same with Joe Biden when he was vice president. I don't remember anybody mentioning his name. Then again, I was pretty young when Obama
No, so
got in.
Biden had been around a while, and I don't think that was the
He had
interesting. Biden is why we have the zero tolerance policy on school grounds.
Hmm.
Back in 1988, I think it was, they passed the zero tolerance policy. Up until then, I remember when I was in high school, junior high, and even elementary school, half the pickup trucks in a parking lot would have rifles in the back window.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
We had
Gun
never
rack.
had trouble on school. Yeah, we're rednecks. I mean, look, I'm in Tennessee, so
Dude, I grew up in partially in River Rouge, Michigan, right? And there was guns everywhere. Then none of them were hunting rifles. And I think the whole time I went to that school district from first grade all the way up until ninth. And it didn't happen until I think late middle school. We had one instance of a kid bringing his parents' firearm to school. He was immediately caught, and they locked down the school, and they, confiscated it, escorted him out with police. And it's like it happened again when I was in high school, and I guess they got him or whatever, and then they expelled him from school. It was a different kid, and then I switched schools around that time frame. Went to a different school for 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? And we had 2 instances at that school of people bringing a weapon, and one of them was a knife.
Yeah,
and they locked the whole school down for a knife.
When I was in school here in Tennessee, we had you would occasionally, some kid would bring a pistol or something and have it in their locker. It was not that big a deal. Somebody would tell on them, the principal would come take it away, and that was the end of it. So
End of it, done with it. Didn't happen again either, usually.
And I carried a pocket knife every day to school. I mean, I had shop class, so it was just normal to have a pocket knife.
100%. What do you think about this whole Austin Metcalf? What's the other kid's name? Carmelo Anthony situation.
So it's interesting because I was told, or no, I was asked to go on to Tim Pool to debate the innocence of Carmelo based on a Second Amendment self-defense viewpoint, and I couldn't do it because, first of all, even though he has a right to the Second Amendment, he certainly can go armed. There's nothing in the Second Amendment that says that you can because you're being an asshole and somebody else is being an asshole, and you guys start shoving on each other, that you can pull a knife and stab somebody. And that was a big deal to me. I could not make the argument, and so I told, I was like, no, I can't do it.
That's what I would say.
I want to.
Timothy Pullington, yes.
And so so I'm annoyed now because I said no. It seems like they don't really want to have me on the show anymore. Which
Oh,
is,
really?
yeah. I have not gotten another invite. And there's been some things where I thought that they would invite me for, but I've not gotten an invite. So
Grit, it's because you're black.
I think it's probably because of that. I don't know. Smoking Spaceman, I do believe that Carmelo Anthony just fled the state ahead of his trial.
He fled the state? I didn't know about that. I know he like the story is that, or at least from the day, right? They're saying that the school has the footage and that they
Yes.
released it to the police, but not the public. I think not yet.
I think it has at least parts of it have been released to the public. And
Oh.
actually, and there's a comment in my chat who says, where was it?
Like, I know the story was supposed to be that, like, he yanked this knife out of his backpack and he stabbed a kid right in the heart, dropped the knife, and then ran. And then as soon as the police caught up with him, he said,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
I'm not the alleged, I did do it. Can I say that this was self-defense?
So this is what I thought. This is exactly what I thought would happen. What I thought would happen was that the video would actually show that Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor and that there was no fight before the incident. And that's exactly what Smoking Spaceman is saying here. The video, while grainy, shows no fight prior to the act. So there's no self-defense. There's no, there's nothing. You can't argue self-defense if you're not if you're the aggressor, right?
True.
And that was my problem. Is I always felt like that he was the aggressor, right? He was in the wrong place. Apparently, there were some comments made that whether or not they've been withdrawn is irrelevant. Comments were made day of that the reason that the other team was so aggressive about wanting him to leave was that it looked like he had been going through their stuff.
I heard about that.
And so that seems to have faded from the media and being, any kind of place where you would see it, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And certainly it would, and honestly, it lends credence to everything that the kids, the actual kids said, and that was they were trying to talk to this guy, and he kept escalating, and
right, touch me and see what happens.
The guy, yeah.
Did you see when they were trying to say that it was a cleat sharpener, which is something that doesn't actually exist?
Oh, I missed that part.
There was a bunch of people saying, "Oh no, it was a cleat sharpener. That's why he had it. It was because he was going to apparently sharpen cleats." There's no such thing as a cleat sharpener. You just replace the cleat. Like you remove what's on the bottom of the shoe and then you replace the cleat part. There's no sharpener. You don't need them to be sharp. And they were claiming that was the reason. And then they were saying that it was self-defense, right? Because, two white boys walked up to him and started fighting with him or whatever. It's like, no, he was, from what I've seen now that they're claiming these are the facts, that he was skipping school to be at this event was one of the big things I see now. He was skipping school.
Well, I hadn't heard that. I thought he was supposed to be at that event. My understanding is that he was, and again, this is from very early on because I have not bothered to follow this. I drew my conclusions relatively early on, and I haven't changed, honestly, a lot of my opinion about it. But my understanding is this was a meet that was scheduled, that they were supposed, that this kid was supposed to be there, and that he was in the area. He was in the wrong area.
Oh,
he was in the other team's area. He was supposed to be somewhere else.
He was supposed to be in the other tent.
In the other tent. But now if he's skipping, I mean, it would be crazy if he was actually skipping school and all that. That's crazy.
To me, it would make sense if he was skipping school and he didn't want to be in his own school's tent because that would get him caught, and that's why he was in the wrong tent in the first place. That would make sense to me, I guess, thinking like that. Like, hey, I better hang out in this other tent because if I go to my school's tent, they're gonna catch me skipping. But why would you go to a school event if you were skipping school? That sounds dumb in the first place.
Yeah, but I mean, why wouldn't you just hang out behind the bleachers or somewhere else?
Mhm.
Like there's better. That's why I have one of the things I always wondered why he was there, and then when I heard the statements that were made that they felt like he had been going through their stuff, I was like, aha, that makes perfect sense, right?
Grid.
Yeah.
Grid, but hanging out in the bleachers is so 80s and 90s. Get with the times.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Hey, maybe he was low on the weed and he had to be there to pick up from his deal.
Maybe his girlfriend didn't show, and he was like, yeah, I gotta go find some
I'm gonna go
strange.
stab me a boy today. I'm gonna stab me somebody today because my girlfriend ain't here. That's more behavior where you do it to impress her.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, it's an interesting story to me, only from the point of view that, as Cleaner says here, crazy how many small newspapers put out a grain of truth and then get shut down the next day, or shut up the next day. No one ends up hearing that bit of truth, right? And you have to have a pretty good memory, right? Like I remember that one of the first things that was said was comments from multiple students that they felt like that this kid was going through their bags. That's why they were aggressive. Look, and it makes sense, right? Like let me put this out there, because I didn't play sports in school per se, but I certainly did some things on campus, and
what
the
things?
only reason that I would be upset with somebody being in my area, so to speak, is if I felt like they were doing something wrong or nefarious, right? Like pissing in my gym shorts, or doing, because pranks happen. I would be upset about it. Or if they're stealing my stuff, or if they're going through my book bag, or they're putting itching powder in my cleats. I mean, look, there's some things I think that we would all agree that if we were young men again, then we would look at somebody being in our prep area, which just wasn't a locker room. But if they were in my prep area, I would be very suspicious, and I would probably respond aggressively, right? I would be like, "Hey, dumbass, what are you doing here?"
Yeah, exactly. It's like they could just be trying
Because
to,
it always bothered me that it was
steal
just like
something.
this story that we were trying to be fed by the mainstream media was, this guy's just in there. He went to the wrong pavilion. He's just hanging out. No big
Oh,
deal.
so
And these
sad.
guys come
Yeah.
in, and they're like really super aggressive to him. And I'm like, look, this is not an 80s movie where, the entire frat house is against this one guy. That's not how any of this shit works. I'm sure that those young men who are athletes, who are looking forward to go to college, that really don't want to fuck up, I believe, I would 100% believe more that they're like, "Hey kid, what are you doing here?" And the guy says, "Well, I'm just in the wrong pavilion." They'd be like, "Dude, get out of here. Go away. What? Why are you even here? Go away."
I don't think they said, "Hey kid, what you doing here?" They were like, "Hey, Nuka, what you doing over there messing with our bags, Nuka?"
I honestly think I think that part's right. I
Probably.
think they walked in and they're looking
bit.
around, and their bag that was on the bench is now on another bench, or underneath the bench, or whatever. And they're like, somebody's been sleeping in my bed. Somebody still is, the whole Goldilocks thing. Like, what are you doing here, Goldilocks? You fucking my shit up. And
I don't think they call him Goldilocks though.
I don't give a shit.
Maybe.
I'm just saying that it always bothered me that first there was a believable story. These guys can't, this track team came back from running or stretching or whatever the fuck they were doing. They come back to
Something was amiss. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they could have been, they could have been banging half the cheerleading team. I don't care what they were doing.
Yeah, no matter what, it's a sad situation when one twin brother holds his twin brother, as he loses his life like that.
Yeah.
You know what would have been a believable story?
What's that?
If the black kid beat them so bad in a race and started running backwards and lapped them, and then they tried to jump him and he had to defend himself. I would believe that. I'd be like, well, motherfucker could be fast. Hussein Bolt was really fast.
Yeah, true.
That's more believable than the story that they sold.
Yeah, again, I was looking for the reason for the escalation, right? Because by all accounts, the kid that died and his twin brother and basically everybody on that team were fairly respectable young men. Now, obviously, they're a product of a public school system, so they're not like super polite and all of that kind of thing, but they seem to be like good young men.
You remember how we were when we were kids? We were not respectable young men.
Well, I mean, I was. I don't know about you.
No, you were not. You were the dirty dog.
But I was actually, I was respectful to pretty much everybody as long as I needed to be, and certainly if I came in and I tried to put myself in the situation in the Carmelo Anthony thing of what would I have done if I walked into our locker room, our pavilion, our private, this is our area, and there was somebody there and they were just hanging out. I'd be like, hey man, what's up? I don't know that I would instantly go to super aggressiveness. You know what I mean? Like I just don't, I don't see doing that. Right.
I would ask him if he's lost.
And yeah, I mean, maybe
doing here. Then I would ask him if he got any weed on him.
Yeah, I'm like, man, well,
Glenn's like, what you doing here, boy? Don't you know your kind's supposed to be over there?
I mean, I could see that out of Glenn. I mean,
I'm like, hey, do you got any of that good ganja?
Yeah, that's good ganja. And then you ask him what he's doing. Like, well, okay, in that case, then why the hell are you over here?
But I mean, but really, I was looking for the reason, and the reason that made the most sense to me was that these guys, and why the aggressiveness it ramped up. The only thing that does make sense to me is that if they came back from their,
they caught him in the act of doing something,
or they just saw things that made them believe that, hey, this guy has been searching our shit. If that was the case, then I could 100% see those guys going, hey, get the fuck out of here, asshole. The fact that he wouldn't leave is another thing that bugged me the whole time. Like if you've got an entire team of people saying, get out, you don't belong here, why does he not leave? Why does he pull the knife? Like it's like, maybe they weren't saying get the fuck out of here. Maybe what they were saying is don't go anywhere. We're gonna go get. So
that makes sense.
Like don't.
Or maybe he was about to walk out. He turned around and one of them called him boy, and he remembered his great grandpappy said, "Don't ever let them call you boy."
Yeah, it was just in his blood.
Yeah, It's what is it? Generational. It's generational.
Yeah, generational. Oh my God, oppression.
Yeah, oppression.
There's something like that.
Tim Hale, how the hell are you, Tim Hale?
That's a good question. A little frustrated. I'm trying to figure out my settings on this thing here. I don't know why
it's working.
You put anything in the hole.
Whoa! I don't do it like you guys do it out.
It's literally Glenn's solution is put the tiny thing in the big hole and it'll work.
Whoa! I say big thing in the tiny hole.
Oh my!
Well, if it won't fit, you just add lube or spit. Spit's probably the quickest.
Yeah.
You don't fit. You must.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that situation? With
a lesson that most young men need to learn earlier rather than later is
dick control.
Also, yes, but no. Something that's better learned earlier than later is that water washes away all lube. So while it sounds
Yeah.
awesome in pools and the
I don't know
shower,
about baby oil though.
sounds like a great idea. Be prepared.
I don't know about baby oil. I was watching Dave Chappelle talk about the Diddy situation, and he goes, if he would have just used a different lube, you know, like Crisco, everybody would have just thought, hey, he likes to cook a lot.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he's
barbecuing.
having a cookout. You know,
Exactly.
he's frying some chicken.
So what is the over and under on P. Diddy dying in jail?
Oh no, he's gonna walk. Watch, he will walk.
Really?
I think Glenn's been right on that because of the New York laws and how he's trying to be tried as a domestic violence kind of guy. Like that's why he's going for that, because they go lighter on domestic violence out there.
Really?
I
didn't. From what I've heard by several sources. Yeah.
Were there like videos of him in the jail on like a scooter or something? Is there like
I
some
didn't see that.
ridiculous videos? Like, okay, I thought
That would
maybe
be
it was
so-
AI.
It's possible.
That
I
would be
just
so
didn't see
New
it.
York. That would absolutely be so New York. Life is tougher on the streets than in prison. Tim
That's weird.
Hale, are you getting there, Tim?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right.
He's almost finished.
I can
He
help
has a
you
sock
if you
in his
need, if
hand.
you need some help. I'll be tech support. I can't do an Indian voice though. I'm sorry.
Hello, thank you for calling.
Hello, thank you.
Please
This
come
is an
again.
ATM machine.
Our services are closed. We're currently fighting over the Kashmir region. Damn it, Pakistan to hell.
In order to continue
That was good.
Jesus
Whoever did that, that was good.
Man.
That
I was
was
gonna say,
good.
fuck, mine was stupid. I was just gonna say, in order for me
true.
to help protect support, I first
This
need
is
your
the
social
most
security number.
accurate and important piece of information you can impart to young men, and that is never be alone with a little girl. They will lie about you, and definitely never be alone with two, because one will lie for the other and agree with it. So that's accurate, and don't ever forget that. It's very, very important, very important. Smoking Spaceman, I got the video. I will watch it later. So
Like
They're working
I think,
Pakistan
I
now.
mean, their star witness was horrible. Like,
I did
casting-
hear that.
she was the worst witness to bring up. Like, so all the text messages saying that how much she enjoyed the freak offs, and you know, you don't get to say that. You can't call grape and then 2 weeks later go bang them out. Like,
That's right.
that just made no sense.
That's how it works, man. You know, that's what they were doing with the Me Too in some cases. You know, like, what was that one fucking comedian, the Indian dude that's on The Office? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Aziz Ansari.
and Aziz Ansari. Yep, he got railroaded.
Yeah, and it was over that girl saying that like they went on a date and she gave him a beej and then she felt bad about it. Even the girl came forward and said that she, like, none of it was against her will. It was just weird. And Aziz Ansari still basically got guilty in the court of a public opinion on that one.
Well, she got paid. Yeah, she got a $30 million settlement. Of course, she got paid.
She got paid. And then came out later. It was like, you know what? He didn't actually do anything, but like, I didn't feel good about it. And it's like, okay, what the fuck? Shit, Danny Masterson was the surprising one for me. Like, I just never even thought about that guy after that 70s show, you know?
But like, here's
and then
the
when
part
it came
that
out,
Diddy,
I was like,
like, we could say Diddy's a lot of things. He definitely a freak. He definitely nasty.
Oh,
And he
did you
definitely
hear,
did some foul shit.
did you hear they said in court that one of his favorite meals that he had every day was a hamburger with jelly?
Okay, that right there, you can't trust people that put jelly on hamburgers. You just can't trust them. That's
You can't do it.
un-American.
Daily meal, apparently.
Tim Hale, are you good? You got it? What's up?
He's at a Diddy party.
He is.
Ain't no party like a
I
Diddy.
disavow that. I disavow that all day.
He's got painkillers.
What
in
about
his
that
baby oil?
baby oil underneath your bathroom sink?
Very presumptuous to claim I have a sink.
Oh, that was another. Dave Chappelle was talking about that.
Big
He
hit.
was like, I ain't never used a whole fucking bottle of baby oil. He was like, He goes, my mom's house, Chappelle. He goes, my mom's house. She's probably still got the same baby oil I had when I was just a little guy. They never finished that shit off. He goes, but Diddy, he's on like 15th bottle by the end of the week. Why would you choose baby oil for those activities? You know, like that.
Well, because
you're
it was
gonna get
an
an
easy way
infection.
to like, from what I understand, it was an easy way to insert the drugs.
Yeah.
Into the
And then
skin,
give a
like it was
massage.
atopical. Yeah, great. Like he was rubbing you down, you're getting high as fuck, and next thing you know, your butt's getting turned out. You wake up sore.
And hooked up to a damn IV system. Like he would give people IVs, and then you know, freak offs didn't last one day, y'all. It was 3 to 7.
It was like a week.
Yeah, it was.
It should be called a week off.
Everybody was
I'm imagining,
dehydrated.
I'm imagining he hooks people up to IVs filled with baby oil.
That's some next level shit,
dude. Yeah, like what was it? Shit. I know there was a gay rapper.
I can see it now. I literally can see it now. Hey Diddy, man. Number 8 over there about to pass out, bro. Hi, bro. What I want you to do is I want you to hook up to that IV, get her some saline, some protein, you know, just we gotta get her back up. We gotta,
gotta tell her to take that
too early in the week for her to be, taking a dive. We gotta get her hydrated. Let's get her some protein, get some energy packs in there. Just do up that IV right, man. Just do it. Just take care of that. And what I want you to do, man, is go on up and get number 4. Bring number 4 down. We gotta keep the party going because ain't no party like a Diddy party. You know what I'm saying?
But great, like the number 4 was always another dude because he'd be like, nah, he ain't done. He better finish on me. He better finish on my chest. What's wrong with him?
Yeah,
he get to go
apparently
rest.
he was into that too.
Yeah, he was
a
nasty
for his girl.
Nasty.
Bringing a male prosty for the girl, and then that guy just squirts one off on you.
You're like, yo, bro,
terrible language
yo,
right
bro,
now.
you can
Sorry.
bang my chick, but you finish on me.
Yeah.
Did Tim Hale dropped again? What?
I told you at a Diddy party.
He must be having a lot of tech issues.
Like maybe he used that as lube instead of the baby oil. The baby oil was for everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you ever hear him detail how he did his parties before he got caught? Like I think he was talking to Conan, and he was talking about how he liked to keep the parties really hot. He would turn the heat up literally so that people would be more apt to go, hey, I need a drink. A nice icy drink and cool down. And then, he said that the heat and the liquor would help him to loosen up. And I'm like, I wonder if he means physically.
Have you heard any of his little like things he would say in a song? Like, take that, take that, take that.
Yeah.
What are they taking? Oh, I know. Mm-hmm. Or bad boy for life. Oh yeah, you bad, all right. You a bad motherfucker, nasty boy.
Yeah, nasty ass motherfucker. But like, did you see the clips of him on the different podcasts when he was calling dudes daddy?
Oh yeah, like, or when that one rapper was in the pool and he was calling him daddy. I was like,
you looking good in that pool, daddy. It's like, oh my god.
Like,
I'd have been out that pool so fast the water would be trailing behind me. Like,
have you ever heard of 50 Cent?
I feel like some Bugs Bunny walking on water with the
that's what I'm saying.
Rolling off the water.
Did you ever hear when 50 Cent said that Diddy tried to take him shopping? He said he
that
was
was
that
hilarious.
motherfucker. He said
it was like a man's gonna take me shopping. That's some fruity shit. Like he's supposed to be putting out a documentary. I heard the original name was before Diddy got caught. So the original name of Diddy's documentary was going to be Diddy Do It, and now I guess he's calling it Diddy Done Did It.
Yep, Diddy Done Did It.
Yeah,
Diddy did it for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, 50 Cent has talked about how he doesn't like Diddy for years. Like he has not liked that guy.
50 Cent's been dropping info about this, like freak offs and stuff like that for the last 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just low key has been saying shit. And he was just waiting his time. But here's the thing. Diddy's not going to get locked up because this case is thrown. All I mean, did that one juror that got thrown out. They said that he was not going to be impartial because he started questioning the prosecution's case, like I guess openly or publicly or something. I don't know. They're trying to get a mistrial or a hung jury or something like that.
Yeah,
I think he's not going anywhere. The fucked up thing is R. Kelly, on the other hand, just had an assassination attempt against him because I hear that he's actually supposed to be testifying against Diddy soon.
Yeah.
And R. Kelly's asking for an emergency release because I guess he recently had an attempt on his life.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and crack. No, that's not R. Kelly. Never mind.
Okay.
He's
We gotta. This is too much. Hey, all right, and I gotta go anyway. It's 11 o'clock. It's time for me to pull a ripcord. I'm gonna forward you guys over to TrippyCast, so you can keep the party going over there. And that'll be really good. Yes, Eminem has done multiple songs that called Diddy out. So
yep,
big time.
Yep, the last one the one on Kamikaze, he called him out. The one when against Machine Gun Kelly, Kill Shot, he called him out. And his last album, he called him out.
Eminem gives zero fucks, so it is what it is.
Well, you can't take him out. He's like pretty much too big to fail.
Yeah. He's over again. So at any rate, guys, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you haven't already, hit the like and the subscribe button on your way out the door. It's been a great show. It's a good night. I'll have to get a hold of Anson and some other guys to make sure the show happens on Friday. Remember, it is a debate show. I don't know how involved I can be this week, but I'm trying to keep the show going so we don't have an empty week. But we'll see. If we have to, we'll cancel it. It'll be fine. No problem. In the meantime, I'm going to send you guys over to TrippyCast. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and all of that to his channel. Let's see if we can get him a few more subs to going down and some watch hours happening. And he'll keep you entertained.
And you guys stay tuned for this weekend. You might see Grid doing some really suspect things. I will have it all on footage, live stream, 4K.
Baby oil.
Grid will do something strange for a piece of change.
No, that doesn't happen. However, I will be covering for Glenn Lawrence's action since he is now a free agent and all that. So,
you don't want to cover that. That's need to be behind a paywall.
Yeah, right.
That's right. And for $3,000, either one of these guys will cover themselves and head to toe in baby oil.
No, I will not
eat a jelly covered burger.
Definitely not.
$3,000.
Look, you make it $3,500.
Discriminating against
we got
all
a deal.
I'm discriminating against all of that. You can call me wrong all you want. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, as always, be cool, wear glasses if you need them, and get off my lawn.